Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to
Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
All right, last show of this week.
Okay.
Last real show. So we're not gonna kneel it. No, we're gonna run the 2-minute offense for 3 hours.
Okay.
Non-stop, awesome sports takes.
Okay.
Okay, maybe not takes. We're just gonna talk. I have conversations here on the program. KC going to the NFL. Will Lee going to the NFL.
Not surprised.
No.
I'm a little surprised in Will Lee in that I didn't know he still had eligibility. I thought, but I guess it's the Pavia rule because now JUCO doesn't count against you. But no, I'm surprised. And at KC, I thought that was a 1-year deal from the outset, and what a great year. You know, so thank you, KC Concepcion. Thank you, Will Lee. Both of those guys came in the transfer portal.
Upgraded their
Both of
position.
them were home runs.
Yeah. They had a lot of home runs on this team. ESPN had an article before the playoff game against Miami about playoff teams and their NFL draft pick aspirations. Mm-hmm. And I'll just give you a couple of the notes that it had. The only first-round pick, according to ESPN, is KC Concepcion.
Okay.
Yep.
I hope so. He's a good dude.
Yep, they have him as a round 1 guy.
I just wish they would have had one more pass to him a little higher.
Yeah.
Remember that one where he's crossing and Marcel's kind of scrambling out to the right and throws and it's low and if it's on target, it's probably a touchdown.
In the first interception, I think it was to KC too, right? Had he led him across the middle of the field, that could have been a 30-yard
I thought
gain.
he was throwing to Mario.
Was it Mario? Okay.
I could be wrong.
Round 2, guys. Cassius Howell has not announced he's going to the NFL, but we expect that he could work himself up into a first-round pick. According to ESPN, Trey Zune, Chase Basantis, and Will Lee all could be round 2 guys.
Okay.
No round 3 guys. Round 4, though. Tell me if you know these names. Demetrius Crownover.
Okay.
Armaje Reed Adams.
Okay.
Le'Veon Moss.
All right. Well, quite frankly, round 4 for running back is almost like round 1 now.
It also has a little star, and I don't know why the star next to Torian York's name. So
probably because they don't know if he's coming out or they don't think he's coming out or he'll be an underclassman.
5th round, Albert Regis.
I would think Albert Regis would be higher than some of the guys I've already heard.
And then 7th round, you'll be surprised how many names are here. Amari Daniels.
Okay.
E.J. Smith.
All right.
Nate Borkacher.
Okay.
Tyler Onyedem.
Yeah.
Scooby Williams.
Okay. I would think Onyedem would be higher than that, but go ahead.
And Tyreek Chappelle.
Okay.
So according to this, if this played out this way, and there's still some of these guys, I hope they come back for another year of Aggie football. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 potential draft picks. That's what you want to have from your program every year. Mm-hmm. It won't be that high, obviously. It's not going to be 16, but those are guys that are in the conversation.
First of all, excuse me, the guys should do whatever they want to do. It's their life. As much as some of them we'd like to see come back, it's their life. They should do whatever makes them happy. Mm-hmm. However, some guys, if you're not at least maybe I'd say 3rd, maybe 4th round, right? If that's what you're projected, and you can still come back, you probably should.
It would behoove you.
Because you can get paid you might get paid more than you'll make in the NFL.
Correct.
And what you don't want to do is sacrifice maybe making $1 million in college, right? To go into the NFL and then get cut. So now, again, an agent, and that's the only guys the only people these guys typically listen to, because the agent tells them what they want to hear, right, and not always what they need to hear. But an agent goes, "Oh yeah, you're going to be drafted this way." I mean, how many times have we had guys here that are projected really high in the draft and they fall?
Sometimes not even get drafted.
Last year we heard Nick Scorton was going to be a first-round pick. He went in the third round.
Right.
Second round.
It's close.
Close, but still. But anyway, and he was going to get paid no matter what, first or second. Like I said, at least third, maybe fourth. But the agent's going to tell you, "Oh, you're going to be a third-round pick," and you may not go till the sixth, fifth or sixth. And now you just don't know if you're going to make the team, and even if you do, you may make less than you would in college. So you can still make that money in college. It's not just for A&M; it's everywhere. You can still make that money in college. The NFL's still going to be there.
Yeah.
So now, if you feel confident you're going to go in the top 3, and again maybe 4 rounds, it makes sense.
Elijah Robinson back at Texas A&M.
I love that.
Love that.
Thanks for Coach Chaos, but I think based on what I saw here with him and Elijah Robinson, something just tells me Elijah Robinson's better at that position.
One of the things that Billy put on the boards, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, is any time that there's a coaching change, sure, there's a shift, but it allows an opportunity to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope whatever they do at all these positions, it is an upgrade.
Yeah, and you know what? They've got some linemen to work with, too, for Elijah to work with. And, we saw when Elijah was here, all the guys that were getting taken in the draft. And I expect that to continue. I'm sure they'll bring in at least somebody from the transfer portal, but there's some good defensive linemen to work with there.
Yep. OB, let's say you're Tom Hagen. Okay, remember good old Tom Hagen?
Tom Hagen from The Godfather.
Yeah, the Consigliere,
guy,
right?
Yeah.
And Mike was Consigliere, but you were the Consigliere.
I'm as much a son to him as you are, Mike.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
Let's say you're that for Coach Elko.
Okay.
He brings you into his office. Okay, the Don is sitting there.
Right.
He's sitting there like this, right? And he says, "Olin."
Yeah.
I don't know. I gave him the Vito Corleone voice, but Olin.
He would start out by going, "Yeah,
yeah, Olin." What would be your first order of business? What would you suggest to Mike Elko, his first order of business for the 2026 season? Like, what are we fixing? Because there's a lot to fix.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hard part I'm having with it is an 11-win team has a lot of areas to fix.
I get a quarterback coach in.
Yeah.
I think you've got a good quarterback. It's funny to me how, did Marcel play well? No. He wasn't the complete disaster that he was made out to be, but he didn't play well. And he got a couple of more passes, and they could have won that game, right? So get me a quarterback coach that can take what Marcel already is. I mean, they did win 11 games with him as quarterback, and fix some of these issues where the next big game, he does hit that pass to KC Concepcion, or the one that came out funny that could have been a first down to E.J. Smith. Just a couple of those things. So I would do that. I'm very intrigued on what Terry Bussey's future might look like. They moved him to receiver. They wanted him to be a corner. They moved him to receiver because they had a need at receiver. Well, Jerome Miles, assume will be healthy. You got Mario Craver. You got some freshman guys coming in. You got Ashton Bethel-Roman, who I like a lot. Isaiah Williams, and some guys coming in. Again, they'll probably go to the transfer portal. You'd have Bussey.
Yeah.
Or might Bussey go back to corner? I wonder about that. So
2 years of development at one position, though,
Brandon Williams played running back for 3 years.
Yeah, that's true.
And they moved in the corner. He was the best DB they had. I would... they're bringing in a linebackers coach, right? So I would figure out what I have to do with the run defense to stop giving up the big plays, the volume.
So consistently.
Yeah, because you're going to give up big plays. But that's got to get better. And let's see, what else would special teams. I would look and see what we have to do with special teams to get better there. I like the offensive line coach, but I'm going to have to really do a lot of evaluations on the guys I have and see who I have to do, what I have to do about going out and getting somebody. Because let's face it, at the beginning of this year, I don't know if you remember, this doesn't make me a sage of wisdom and all this, but we did have this conversation. And I remember saying, this is the year this year. Why? Because you had an experienced offensive line. You can't have a championship caliber team without a championship caliber offensive line. So you don't want to be like LSU. You're going to probably lose 4 players to the draft, or at least 4 players gone. You don't want to be like LSU where your offensive line, you lost 4 guys and you just fell apart. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Obi, do you agree with me that had the line played and this is just a thought I had right now, it's not like I've given it deep thought. Had the line played exactly the way they did all season long, but you moved their worst 2 losses, okay? So let's say the Miami game stays where it is, but you move Texas to the middle of the year. We would feel better about the offensive line because I think it's the last 2 most important games at the end was their worst performance. And is that who they really were? Or was it that they were crashing at the end of the year?
I would be inclined to say, look, they just played better defenses. But Texas wasn't that all year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Texas was a good defense by the time we got to the end of the year. Miami's defense is elite. But you still had opportunities. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
What do you think A&M's biggest issue was this year? Was it the run defense? Was it the turnovers?
Or lack of.
Or lack of creating turnovers. Here, Marcel Reed committed, obviously, the 3 in the last game, but now turned over the ball over 8 out of 10 games against Power 4 conference teams this season. And by the way, I'm a big Marcel fan. I would have voted for him for the Heisman had he finished this. If I don't have a vote. Had I had a vote and he finished the season the way I thought he was going to finish, I would have voted for him. To be in the top 3, if not win it all. But in his biggest games, he has had a lot of turnovers. And 2 Texas games, Miami games. That's what I consider his biggest games.
And a lot of times it's either in the red zone or at the lip of the red zone.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was the biggest issue this year. I think the biggest issue was I just don't think the defense was as good as the stats would indicate. It was the lack of giving up turnovers or gaining turnovers, and the tendency to give up the big plays. It wasn't even a tendency. I mean, it was like a time bomb. You knew it was going to happen. You just hoped you'd pull the right. What is it? One of those things, wire, and you didn't. Because the offense averaged up until the end 36 points a game.
But at the end,
no, if you're going to say what was the issue at the end, you said for the season.
Yeah. But how much does the end change the way we look at the season, though? Right? Because that is the most sour of taste.
Right. So if I'm basing it just on the last couple of games instead of the whole season, then I would say your number one issue is getting Marcel to improve.
Yeah. What do you say to those that say that this team was fraudulent, that they were frauds?
They're stupid. Again, I don't care that LSU finished, 7-5 or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I saw an LSU team that damn near beat Oklahoma in Norman with their backup quarterback. I saw an LSU team that played Ole Miss within 5 points. Ole Miss still in the playoffs. Of course, we knew they would, but still. Who else they almost beat? Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
And Vanderbilt. I mean, if you were going to say, hey, yeah, big deal, A&M beat Ole Miss 49-25 or whatever it was. Maybe it's, I think it was something like that. Big deal. Everybody beat them like that, but they didn't. So, and you did it at their place, and some of those games they lost, I think, was reaction. A lot of things changed after all of a sudden the Missouri win doesn't matter that you beat Missouri by 21. God, well, Missouri was 8-4. Well, they're 8-4, but look at those 4, and how did they? 3 of them were really close games against good teams. So I'm not saying obviously that Missouri was a great team, but I'm saying that's not an easy win.
Yeah.
So, but if you're like some of the, I'll tell you what, I think the people that would say A&M season is fraudulent, if they're media, they're frauds.
Yeah, I think they're fraudulent hosts, and there's a lot of that out there in this media space now.
But you know what, though? You know the old saying, to the victor goes the spoils.
Sure.
And they get to talk mind-numbingly stupid. They get to say mind-numbingly stupid things.
A&M has to take some lumps for the way the season ended, no doubt. But if the shoe fits, if your whole business model is to have tape that changes every week and talk really loud into a camera, into a microphone, with no real, I think we live in a cool media space now, OB, that like people like Josh Pate have been given an opportunity to grow into what he's become. SEC Mike, he's a lot of hot sports takes, but he's grown it, and so that part of it is cool. But I think it's also opened the door for a bunch of hacks to yell on camera and be like, look, I'm going to say the most controversial thing I can say. It is going to change each week, because one week I'm going to like A&M, the next week I'm going to say they're a bunch of frauds, and I'm going to get a bunch of interactions and go trending on whatever, social media.
Yeah, I would say is Oklahoma a fraud now?
I think Oklahoma is who I thought they were. They were a team that was very good defense, that struggled to score, and they lost.
But were they a fraud, though?
I don't think they were a fraud, no.
Is anybody saying that?
I haven't heard it.
I mean, they lost to a team that lost to Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a 17-0 lead. I think at least to what I've seen, maybe I've missed something, but I've seen most of the guys like Josh Pate, who are some of the gosh, I'm having a senior moment. The bald guy from Auburn that everybody likes.
Cole Kublik.
Cole Kublik.
Oh, I love Cole, yeah.
I don't see guys like that calling A&M a fraud. Reese Davis. I don't see guys like that. The people with actual
credentials.
Yeah. I think you see some, like you call them, internet hacks that, anybody can get on the internet now, and some of these guys are proving it.
Yeah. Let's talk to somebody who's not a hack.
Okay.
Well, maybe not. Let's go say hi to Nick Savage.
Yeah, like you said, OB, they let anybody, talk behind the mic. So here I am. Yeah, exactly. But hey, just a quick note on Elijah Robinson. I know, again, it takes a whole defensive staff when you're looking at numbers and stats, right? But when Elijah Robinson was here from 2018 to 23, when he was a defensive line coach, we can go year by year, opponent rush yards per game, I should say. 2018 allowed 95.2 rush yards per game. 2019, 130.7. 2020, 92 opponent rush yards per game. 21, 134.8. The 22 year, obviously an exception. That was the 5 and 7 year. They allowed 209 opponent rush yards per game. And then 23's final year here allowed 108 opponent rush yard per game. And for comparison, under Mike Elko, these past 2 years, 135.2 rush yards per game for the opponent, and this year 130.8 rush yards per game for the opponent. So a few years when Coach Robinson was here, that you're holding opponents under 100 yards rushing per game. That would be huge if that can return. And if you look at the list of guys he's coached, it's a pretty impressive list.
Excuse me, I'm about to cough. Obi, talk for me.
Was my take that bad? You're about to throw up?
If you want to quote stats when Elijah was here, give me those years again.
It was 2018 through 2023.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at opponent long rushing plays. Okay, so in 2018, A&M gave up the fewest long rushing plays. They had 4 runs gave up of 30 yards or more. I think I said A&M gave up something like, they gave up 21 runs of 20 yards or more. It was 12 in 18. It was 12 and 19. 20, well, that was different. But 2021, it was 13. I'm seeing, and quite frankly, I think that's when they were having to play in the West all the time.
Right.
And sometimes against some really good running quarterbacks. So I think that's not, again, like Nick said, that doesn't all go credit to Elijah Robinson or blame for that much. But it is, I mean, that's the factual data. They gave up fewer long runs when he was the defensive line coach.
So I actually forgot. What's the name of this show?
This is TexAgs Live.
The breath you just gave. I don't remember. Oh, wait.
No, I'm thinking, do I say Go Hour or do I say TexAgs Live? I think I say TexAgs Live.
And it's presented by
David Gardner Jeweler. I don't have to take a breath for that one.
Yeah, and this studio's got a name.
Oh, this is the Rollo Insurance Studio.
This is true. This hour has a name.
The Go Hour.
Presented
by the Warehouse at C&C Creation.
And typically we're hanging out where?
The Holistic Planning Cool Zone, but the Cool Zone travels, so we're over here today.
It's more of like like the Jedi Force, right? It just follows you. It radiates over us.
If you say so. Hey, I got the Uncle Rico look going today.
Yeah, you've had it for a couple of weeks now. And by the way,
I actually had a haircut.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
It did look good. If you want to be a part of the conversation this morning, you can call Olin Buchanan up at 979-693-1150. That number is?
That is the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline.
979-693-1150. We'd like to hear from you. By the way, I think I'm kind of like in a, what's the word you used when I walked in? Morose?
Morose.
Yeah, I need a pick-me-up, OB. I'm not sad. I'm not angry. I'm just kind of there.
Yeah.
How do I feel better?
Well, I don't know what to tell you because today's Tuesday,
Yeah, and
if
Thursday's
it was
Christmas.
Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, and probably not even this Thursday because it's Christmas.
I don't even know if they're open this Friday. They might be. I don't know.
But normally, in a normal day, you need to pick me up. You just pick yourself up and head down towards Snook. Not going to Snook, just going in that direction. About a couple of miles past the airport to the left, and there's 1775 barbecue. And if you're feeling down, nothing will raise your spirits like some of that succulent brisket, some of that jalapeno cheese sausage.
How do you 1775 it? Do you go straight for the meat? Because I know you love meat.
I'm a carnivore.
Or do you go straight to the queso mac and cheese?
No, I actually go to the meat, and then I kind of dabble in the mac and cheese until the meat is gone. And then it's almost like a queso mac and cheese dessert.
Mm-hmm.
It's not sweet, but it's a great way to end your meal.
You devour it.
I do. I devour a lot of food, but not with the enjoyment that I devour 1775.
The website, 1775txbbq.com, or you can call them up 979-492-6241. It's 1775. Hey guys, David Nuño here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel. Thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe, whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and Emily killing it over there at Bryan Broadcasting. Thank you, Emily. Giving you a little love here. Merry Christmas to everybody listening. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. All the good stuff. OB, let's get to some text messages.
Let's do.
One from Chris in Dripping Springs. He says, David and Olin, will we ever see the resurrection of the bruising, blocking fullback, 230, 240, that hurts people who hit him? The answer is yes, we will see the resurrection at some point. I don't know when. Yeah,
I hope we do, because one of the things that A&M has to get better at is
fourth and short.
Well, yeah, being able to score in the red zone and being able to just run the football when you want to. Mm-hmm. Fourth and short is one of those, but I would have loved to have seen them be able to. Remember when they got the ball after I think it was a 59-yard completion to Mara? And the first play was like a 1-yard run.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you're compromised. And what you're going to do, they need to look. There's a great Miami defense. Let's give them credit, and they won the line of scrimmage. But a great line, you don't have to just go ahead and concede the line of scrimmage to a great defense. You go out there and you win your share.
Yep.
We did see Nate Borkature play that role a few times this year, right? But obviously not his main
I don't think
position.
He's a bruising fullback, but
I get what he's asking.
Yeah, they're thinking about back in the old day, Robert Wilson, somebody that is going to be the lead blocker. If you're the linebacker or a safety or corner out there, you're kind of like closing your eyes and gritting your teeth because you know what's coming.
Built maybe like Jaworski a little bit. Like that Jaworski was more of a tailback, but built more for the bruising.
Yeah, the guy, we're going way back to 93. The guy that I can remember that I wish they always had was from Lake Highlands. And all of a sudden, oh my gosh, not Cliff Groves. He was the guy from A&M Consolidated, the other one. My goodness gracious, what's going on with me today? It'll come back to me in a minute, but he could catch the ball out of the backfield. I think he scored a touchdown against Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl. I remember him knocking down Jesse Cox in the one practice that I went to that I wasn't supposed to be in, and it'll come back to me later. Good Lord. I mean, this was a good player, and I'm not. There are people listening or watching right now that are yelling at their TV.
Oh, and stop being that guy. No, answer for him.
They're telling me the guy.
Yeah.
They're yelling at the guy.
Chase in Houston had a couple of thoughts here. He says, too many big runs all year and the inability to put a full game together in all three phases of ball all season. A&M had great capital letters moments this year, and an 11-win season will always be awesome and special to have.
Detron Smith.
Oh yeah, old school right there. But it's like weather forecast. It ended partly cloudy because for 2 years in a row, they've missed the golden opportunity to go to Atlanta and play for an SEC title and played a terrible game, and the biggest game at Kyle Field didn't show up.
Look, the great teams are great in the biggest games.
Yeah.
There are those that are saying, hey, A&M had a great season. A&M had a really good season. 11 wins don't come around here very often. And hopefully that's about to change. And 11 wins becomes quite common.
Yeah.
But hopefully when that happens, when it becomes quite common, that includes the wins that you have to go to and play for championships, if there are going to be conference championships in the future. Or you get that win, you're not limited to 11, and you get that big win and move on.
Let me ask a really stupid question. Do you want to feel better? What I mean by that.
I like what you're saying. I like where you're going.
I'm going to compare sports to death for a moment, and please, I can move on. Death is final, right? So just don't, but I just want, when I've had death in my life, people that I care about, people that I know, I don't want to feel better. That's how I kind of process. I want to be in the darkness for a little bit, which is not necessarily good. I recognize that, but I don't want to feel better. With sports, I don't want to feel better until I do. And then I've got to feel better. But there's this almost like a 2, 3, 4 day, couple week period, maybe it's longer, where I just want to feel bad about it. And then I want to be optimistic again. Do you want to feel better about this?
Not really. What I want is to be like when I was younger, and I mean a lot younger, and the Cowboys were good. Mm-hmm. When they lost at the end of a nice playoff run and won 15 or 14 games, and they got into the playoffs and they lost. Maybe lost the NFC Championship game. And it just ruined me, my mood for a while. Why? Because I expected the excellence. I want to get to, no offense, but those that are saying, hey, we had a great year. We won 11 games. Everything's so. No, I get that. I understand that. But I want to expect more.
But this goes back to something that I don't like bringing up, BAS. But a lot of people expected the way the season ended. And we've got to get past that. And the only way a program gets past that is by doing the 11 wins thing consistently, not having 11 win and then being, look, and I'm glad this came up, Opie. We actually have had a pretty good set of years at A&M for sports in general, right? Some national championships, a couple teams knocking on the door of a national championship. The baseball team was so close. They made it to 2 College World Series under a previous regime. I understand that. Basketball making it to the NCAA tournament. Tennis winning a national championship, finishing second the next year. Track and field, volleyball. We've had a good run, right? But for me to feel really good, I want my football season to end with a W. And that, in this current climate, means a national championship. If not that, I want to feel like, okay, we're a step away. And I don't know if we're a step away because this whole team is going to rinse and repeat. It's going to look different.
I think my whole mood would have been different if A&M beats Miami when they had these opportunities, and even if they had lost to Ohio State, as long as it was reasonably competitive. Because I thought if you beat Miami, you're playing with house money from there on, because you're playing the national champion and then the higher seats and all those things. And again, part of what makes it so difficult to accept is you can look at about 5 or 6 plays and think, if you had converted it or not made the mistake, there's a great chance you win that game. For all the things, what gets me about going back to the fraudulent thing is what gets me is those that are out there that's acting like Miami just blew out A&M. I mean, A&M's 5 yards away from tying it, and they had all those plays, and some of them were forced by Miami. Some of the failures were forced, but the fumble at the 29-yard line, technically, was forced by Miami, but it shouldn't have even come to that. It was a busted play. Just, I think Marcel was looking to either hand off or play action off of Le'Veon, who went the wrong way, and then just throw the ball out of bounds, right? Or, a blocked field goal from 23 yards, things like that. Now, look, Miami missed 3 field goals too. So it wasn't perfect, but you still had opportunities, and you didn't, numerous opportunities, and didn't capitalize on them.
All right, we're way late for a break. Let's hit a break. We'll come back with Charean Williams on the other side. Right now, we're talking Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. There's a husband out there, a dad, who has not gone Christmas shopping yet. I started mine yesterday, by the way, OB.
You're going to go Caldwell and buy your wife a car?
I'm not saying that. I'm kind of tapped out with some of the things on our list. That being said, there's somebody who's like, what do I get my wife? What do I do? What do I get her? He's going to use that voice. Maybe you got to Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Get her a car. Get her a truck. Medium duty. Heavy duty.
I think women that drive
it's hot.
trucks, it's kind of sexy.
Yeah. And so they got it all there at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Great pricing, great trade-in value. I think you're going to love the customer service. It's not a far drive. We're talking 15 minutes, the edge of Bryant to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. going to say it on the air. I prefer the George Michael version.
Okay.
Big George Michael guy?
No.
Wham? Come on.
No, no one ever had to, wake me up before they go. No.
Will you be my father figure?
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's go to the...
I'm Quinn's.
Let's go to the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. We are joined by Charean Williams, Pro Football Talk, our dear friend, the Hall of Famer, college football extraordinaire, and, of course, NFL reporter. Hello, Charean. How are you?
I'm good. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody.
Merry Christmas to you. I'm not bad, but I'm not good because when I'm doing this show, I think about football and what it could have been. Just, I guess, a few moments to kind of react to the way the season ended, Charean.
Yeah, well, I'm up in Ohio, and I've had a few people tell me, sorry that the Aggies we're not playing the Aggies in another week. So I'm sorry about it, too, that we're not playing in another week. So it's just kind of a sadness that, the season ended like that. And Olin, I know last week you asked a very good question about whether it would be a successful season if they ended up losing. And I still think it's a very successful season. I think they took a step, but I didn't imagine the amount of disappointment and frustration and everything else I would feel by just not getting in the end zone for as many yards as they had, and the way they played. You would think they would have scored more than 3 points. So I do think it was a very, very disappointing ending. And volleyball's mantra was, why not us? And football's was finished, and one of them lived up to that mantra, and one of them did not. And so I think finish can be their mantra again next year. This is 2 years in a row that they've stunk it up at the end of the season.
In that game against Miami, what stood out to you as the reason that they didn't finish?
I didn't like some of the play calling, frankly. Down the goal line, I don't know how much Colin Klein was distracted by his other job, and I don't blame him. I mean, he's going to get a head coaching job. I think he's earned that, and it creates a problem. College football has created a lot of its own problems, and one of those is, I just think the hiring period should, I don't know how you restrict it, but it creates a problem for a lot of schools, and we saw it in the playoffs with the head coach position, and I think the Aggies suffered a little bit at the offense coordinator position and play call. I thought that was part of the problem. But Marcel Reed, frankly, in the biggest games, it hasn't been good. It's a fact. And he's got to figure out why that is, and he's got to get better. And you go back to the play with KC wide open, and Marcel rolling to his right that he initially called a catch that was low. That's got to be a completion, and it wasn't a completion because the pass was so low.
Yeah,
and that's not a pass you can miss. And accuracy, some people say you can't fix accuracy. I think we're going to find out if you can, because his accuracy, frankly, hasn't. Don't look at stats. Just look with your eyes where the passes are. There's a difference with the pass hitting you right between the numbers and the pass being high, the pass being low, the pass being out to the side of you, behind you. There's a difference. And Marcel has not been very accurate, especially when he's been pressured. He's got to get better at that.
He's erratic. There's no doubt he's erratic. Because, sometimes you see him throw the ball and he throws his dimes. And then other times, he can't throw a dime in a lake.
Yeah.
Charean, I know that you enjoyed watching what Jamie Morrison and that volleyball team put together this year.
Oh, it was exciting. Having covered volleyball since the 1980s and, been a roommate of a volleyball player, wife of a former volleyball coach at A&M. It was exciting for us to see what they did. And I don't know if I ever thought they'd get to this point. Even this year, I saw one match this year was at TCU, and they played absolutely awful. And they had lost back-to-back matches. They'd been swept the night before by SMU. They come back. They lose in 5 to TCU. I'm like, oh, my gosh, they're not very good. How do you lose to TCU like that? It basically gave it away. And then you look at just how they got better and better and better and started believing. And they were the best team. There's no question about that at the end. And it was exciting. It made, for me, maybe not for everyone, but for me, an immense sense of pride, and it made up for what happened on Saturday. it left me with a really good feeling after a really bad feeling, and grateful to them for what they did. And, everybody's talking about volleyball, which I think is a great sport, and I'm excited that they have Aggies now talking about volleyball, and I'm going to be really disappointed if that place isn't sold out when we have the banner raising next season.
All right, first of all, Charean, for me, it wasn't enough. To me, I was excited. I was telling David, it's like winning, getting 5 numbers on the lottery, and you got a really great payoff, but you thought you had 6, for the jackpot. But that said, what it really stands out to me is, or to everybody, is you saw a volleyball team, you talked about their loss early in the year, that got better and played their best volleyball when it mattered most. Mm-hmm. And that's just what we're hoping the football team will improve to. The team that's playing better at the end of the year and not at the middle of the year. And quite frankly, I don't think the football team ever really, we all say it, they never played a complete game, so that's who they were. Yet, whereas the volleyball team was amazing.
I think they did. In the game I point to, and I guess not in the first half, but that, to me, that LSU game is the last time they looked like a playoff team and played really well, looked like a team that could go and contend. And I guess it was the second half.
Yeah, the second
It
quarter
wasn't a complete game.
Second quarter was somewhat disastrous.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. But to me, that's the last time that I left feeling like this team has a chance to be really special. And so that was over a month ago that they did that, and I just don't think they played very well late in the season, especially you look at the first half of the South Carolina game, and then, how the last 2 games played out, offensively. They just weren't good enough offensively to get it done. And I think that's the biggest disappointment, because you had the offensive line that you thought was going to be great, and you had all the pieces on offense, the skill players on offense, and they didn't get it done. I mean, Notre Dame might have been their best game of the year, frankly, and that was, early in the season. So if you're talking about a complete game. So it's just, it is disappointing with how they finished, and the fact that they did get bullied. He's right. I mean, if you can't win on the offensive line, we talked about this 100 times on this show. If you can't win at the line of scrimmage, offensive line, defensive line, you're not going to win very many games. And you're not going to win very many games against good football teams. And that's really what it came down to those last 2 games. They got bullied on the offensive line and the defensive line in those last 2 games, and that was the difference in those 2 games.
Meanwhile, the volleyball team was doing the bullying at the net.
Hey, Charean, we're way late for a break. Do you want to do Aggies on the NFL, on the other side, or do you want to knock it out here?
Sure.
All right,
we can do it on the other side. Sounds great.
All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back with Charean Williams on TexAgs Live. Let's talk a little Snaps clothing. David Nuño here, and I love wearing Snaps clothing everywhere. I've got the flannel on right now. You've seen me in the Tailgater collection with the A&M gear. It is fantastic. If you see me around town with my sons, Christian and Cruz, they've got a bunch of Snaps gear. When they have big games for Consol, they wear nice clothes, so they wear their Snap stuff. And I'm telling you, with baseball season here, let's all kind of go looking stylish and fit to the games there at Olson wearing the Snaps clothing. As a reminder, they are the only official licensed Texas A&M Pearl Snaps maker out there. Their Tailgater collection is built for game day with breathable, moisture-wicking fabrics to keep you comfortable while you rep your Aggies in style. Now, whether you're watching the game from home or maybe you're in attendance, you're tailgating, whatever it may be, you got to make sure you head to snapsclothing.com to see everything they have to offer. It is fashionable, it is awesome, and you're going to love it. Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign.
and they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks is good to be right. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. We go back to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Charean Williams, Pro Football Talk with us. Charean, let's close out with Aggies in the NFL.
All right. Shout out to Mike Evans. 5 catches, 31 yards, and a touchdown. Been good since he's come back from his injury. Jake Matthews almost had his first career touchdown. Pass was a little bit high. Probably should stick to blocking here because it was probably a pass that he should have caught. Number 3, Devon Achane, 15 carries, 81 yards, a touchdown. It was a 48-yard touchdown run, 3 catches for 9 yards. Number 2, Myles Garrett, half a sack, tackle, quarterback hit. He's a half a sack from tying the record, 1 sack from breaking the NFL's all-time single-season sack record. Hopefully he gets that. He was mad he didn't get it in that game. He's got 2 games to get it. Number 1, Ja'Day Walker, 6-yard touchdown with 24 seconds left to pull the Bears to a 16-16 tie. 2 catches, 21 yards, has not had a catch before that game this weekend, and now has a touchdown and was a big reason the Bears came back and won.
Charean, great stuff. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you soon.
Merry Christmas.
That is Charean Williams there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. OB? We're going to do one more.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do one more segment. Then we're going to have Joni.
Okay.
All right. Then we're going to have Logan and Ava.
All right.
All right. Ava Underwood, Logan Lednicky. Then we're going to have Jordan Pugh.
Okay.
And then we're going to have Jamie Morrison.
Sounds like a spectacular show.
Great show to kick off or to get you ready for your Christmas Eve tomorrow. All right. By the way, today's Elizabeth's birthday. Happy birthday,
happy
Elizabeth.
birthday, Elizabeth.
Yeah. All right. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with more. You are listening to the world-famous TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio, with 30 seconds of music. So you're a Mariah guy?
I like her.
Yeah.
And I think this song was that, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I am, but it was originally written by an Austin-based band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All I Want for Christmas?
Yeah, I think so. I think this was Vince Vance and the Valiants.
Vince Vance
and the Valiants.
What a name!
I think
the Triple V's.
I think that's accurate. I may be wrong. Kind of like how Robert Earl King,
R.E.K.
He's written like "Road Goes On Forever," and other people have covered it. And maybe the song, maybe not Aggies, but other people know the song based on someone else.
Someone else, not R.E.K.'s version.
But yeah, that's the original. So I think that's the case. I could be wrong.
So you asked me earlier what my favorite Christmas song.
What is your favorite Christmas song?
I don't know. I don't like.
I mean, could be the performance, like Elvis Presley singing.
I think Last Christmas, the George Michael version, right now comes to mind. How are you with Christmas caroling? I don't want to answer my door. Like,
no,
I don't want that.
It's never happened to me.
Oh, it's happened.
It's never happened to me.
There was a note in our neighborhood of say, hey, we're going to do Christmas caroling. Who wants us to come to your door? Just put it. No, I'm good. I don't need to see you sing.
I got Christmas caroled for the first time in my life the other day. It was shocking, to say the least. I didn't know what to do. Like Ricky Bobby,
door?
like he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now. I was just like stuck there. And I found out my wife, she was on her way home, and I thought it was her at the door. She drove by the house because she saw them at the door.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I would have pulled the move too. But yeah, it was very strange, very awkward.
Like, I don't answer my door typically. I don't want to, I get really annoyed with solicitors.
Yeah.
I think we're not even supposed to solicit in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I get angry. One guy, Cruz brought up a story about one time that a guy knocked on the door and Cruz answered. He's like, hey, is your dad here? He's like, and Cruz goes, he's not going to be interested. Let me just talk to your dad. I'm telling you, he's not going to be interested. Please go get your dad. I came to the door. Did my son tell you I was not interested? Yes, I'm not. Close the door. I don't knock on my door, bro.
That's why I have a big German Shepherd who loses his mind whenever. Yeah. So, but Christmas, I guess if it was kids, I'd probably be more receptive.
Kids are different. There's a bunch of kids at the front door.
No, it was kids for me. It was still very awkward. Still very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but what do you do? Okay, actually, I don't know what it feels like. Do they just start singing, or do they say?
Oh yeah, no, they're singing before you open the door.
Woo! Like that?
Hopefully not like that.
Like a little opera.
Yeah,
God, what about the Christmas spirit? We should be like, you know what? I got it. Somebody needs to come to TexAgs right now when Olin's done, not during the show, and. Christmas carol.
If they come during the show, I'll let them in the studio. They can sing to us on air.
In the old studio.
Okay, what's your favorite Christmas song and then your favorite Christmas performance?
There's performances?
Well, there's the dogs that bark jingle bells.
I've never seen that.
We hear it. And then there's Cheech and Chong had Santa Claus and his old lady.
Don't know what you're talking about. So I'm over 2 so far. Nick, are you over 2?
Or Elvis Presley
singing
Blue Christmas. Or you can say, what's your favorite Christmas song? I mean, some would be very religious, like Silent Night, or maybe it's...
I like Silent Night.
Or maybe it's more Santa Claus-ish, like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which, by the way, Bruce Springsteen singing Santa Claus is Coming to Town was always one of my favorites.
Okay. I think Last Christmas might be. And I don't know of any Christmas performances. But
that one by Mariah Carey, that's
good.
That's
we did watch Christmas Vacation last night.
Okay.
Classic.
Yeah.
All right. Clark W. Griswold.
And he turns on the lights and the neighbors get blinded. Yeah. That's a pretty funny movie.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus in it. That's a good one.
Anything with Cousin Eddie.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we should turn our attention back to football.
Okay, let's do.
Here's my question.
So I get sad again.
Yeah. If anybody wants to Christmas Carol on the hotline, 979-693-1150.
It's like getting socks for Christmas and they have a hole in them.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the season?
Yeah.
Really expensive socks, but they got a little snag in it. Yeah. So, did A&M under or overperform?
That is a great question.
Bam! Look at me, talk show host.
Yeah, we talked about at the beginning, you say A&M had 10-win talent, but they had to prove some things, like they could win. And I got to tell you.
You don't know the answer.
You know why it's hard to be? I think they underperformed.
Some would say they overperformed because their talent, or not because of their talent, but because they overperformed because of their schedule. Which we disagree with, I know.
I think their schedule was fine. They won, 11 games in an SEC schedule and beat Notre Dame. And you can say what you want about the SEC teams they beat, but those teams beat teams or played teams really tough. They consistently did. Again, if you had one good game, that's one thing. But when you like LSU, when you consistently play good team stuff, that means they're not a pushover. Now, I think at the end of the day, I hate that phrase. I think ultimately you have to look at it and say, because the end of the season matters.
They underperformed.
Because
if for most of the year, 90% of the year, they were a top 3 team, and then they lose 2 straight to end, they underperform.
I think once you beat Notre Dame, the expectations, the outlook, everything changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is what Paul Feinbaum has to say about it. He said this with Colin and McElroy. I'll spare you the preamble that everybody already knows. I mean, on paper, it was a really good year. I think he's done a phenomenal job lifting that program up. But the way it ended reminded people a lot of just the fact that A&M can't seem to get out of their own shadow sometimes, and it couldn't have gotten any worse. It couldn't have ended any more badly. And I think A&M is going to walk out of the season feeling like they let a lot on the table. And you can't say with 11 wins you underperformed when it's one of your best seasons ever, but it doesn't feel very good. I came away feeling terrible about A&M in terms of the way the season went, even though I know better and I should be thinking more positively of it.
Now that you're an outdoorsman, like I don't know, like Kay Nagley's brother, the fish guy. Yep. I don't know if if he only fishes freshwater, but imagine this guy fishing and hooking a blue marlin, and it's maybe a record one. And you first, you start reeling into your boat, and then as it gets closer, now you got to fight to get him in. Yeah. But you've got and you have him. Half of that fish is in the boat, and and just as you're about to grab the mallet or whatever, you have to knock him in the head to finish it off. He gets off the hook and he's gone. Yep. And you did put in all that work, all that amazing progress to not get it in the boat at the very end, to be that close to getting it in the boat, and this champion marlin, this trophy marlin gets away.
Looking at a season is not black and white, right? There's many different shades in the middle. And what was the mantra, the motto for the season?
Finish.
Did they finish?
No.
They played their 2 worst games of the year at the end of the season. They did not finish.
I think Mike Elko would tell you that.
Yeah. So to me, it was a great season. It sucked.
It was a
movie that got really bad at the end.
It was The Sopranos.
Sopranos ended better than the season here. A little bit. Come on.
Like what happened at the end? It's exactly The Sopranos. At the end of The Sopranos, you're saying what happened? At the end of the A&M season, what happened?
All right. What's the worst ending in your opinion? The end of Seinfeld or the end of Sopranos? Where they all went to jail for.
Yeah, no. At least I know that.
Sorry. Spoiler alert.
At least I know what happened.
Don't put that on the TexAgs alert. Sorry.
Well, if you don't know by now, you don't care. I mean, that was only like 20 years ago.
I know, right?
But The Sopranos, remember how everybody was up in arms about the way it ended?
Yeah. It went. I don't think it was as bad as a lot of people think. The way the A&M football season ended, to me,
probably wasn't as bad as a lot of people think. The season, but it was amazing. It was
Game
amazing.
Of Thrones. Did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've already
forgotten. Until the very end. Great until the very end.
So.
Okay. The Rocky series. Great until Rocky 5.
Never saw it.
It was the worst movie in the history of movies. So it just again, you can look at it like it's not just one thing. 11 wins. I'm going to remember that. It's going to feel good.
Well, it's the first 11-win season since 2012.
But it sucked the way it ended because the most important games, not the most important game, but the way the season ended, your last 8 quarters were your worst 8 quarters of the year. And you can argue your last 12 quarters, 10 of those were absolutely the worst of the year. If not 10-9. You want to give us a quarter or a quarter and a half against Texas, that's fine. They had the lead.
And now we're all sitting around debating and discussing what happened, just like The Sopranos.
I also don't like that the season is over now.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's teams that suck that are still playing.
Yeah, I saw
there's
one
a
of the
weird
dumbest
feeling about that.
Some woman who's an LSU fan actually tweeted, and this has got to be the dumbest. Hey, at least LSU's still playing.
Stop.
What? Just because the Texas Bowl is
later.
I mean, that has got to be the most. I know Lucci tells me there's a word I can't use anymore that starts with an R, but if I could use that word, that's the most that word take, and it makes sense that it came out of Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Well, look, it's such a hard, especially this close to the game. Like you feel more the pain of the ending than everything else, and then also to consider how the way softball ended last year, right? Some of the endings we've had, the way baseball had a rough year after being number one. Like there's these other, and that's why I brought up earlier. But look at this athletic program has also had uber successful recently. Uber successful.
Softball had to be ranked number one to have that that disappointment.
Yeah.
Right. To me, that baseball is as disappointing as it was almost okay. You almost saved it, and then Missouri happened.
Right.
But if Missouri doesn't happen, who knows? But at least you don't feel like it was a disaster.
Yeah. Football was great until it wasn't. And that's going to be the hard part. And I really look. This was already a more successful season when you got a win in November.
Yeah, but you know what? I think they did. Missouri was in November, is that right?
Yeah, first week in November.
Okay, so you got that one, but then, again, it took a historic comeback to beat South Carolina. And that's fine, because if I thought when they came back, the way they came back to beat South Carolina, I thought that in my mind, and I was obviously wrong, I thought, that solidifies how great this team is. That, anybody can go out and have a bad half and have a game. We see it all the time where team shows up and they're not ready to play. And then for A&M to come back and not even win it at the, with a late score at the, they should have won it even more comfortably. And I thought, okay, they're ready now.
See, but
and then they weren't.
I think that game, we look at it now differently than we did at the time, right? Looking back,
it was a symptom.
It was a symptom, right? Against a team that you could do what you did against. But in reality, things were starting to crumble.
Yeah.
Look, I might be wrong here.
That was the first leak in the dike.
Yep. I do believe if you played Texas week 6, you run away with a double-digit victory. That's what I think. I might be wrong. All right. I think that.
You know what? Texas is one of those teams that got better as the season went on. You can't deny that.
The team that beat them got better as the season went on, Georgia.
Yeah. And A&M did not. So what are you going to do about that, Mike Elko, moving forward?
And look, not a gotcha question by me when I asked them if they had, had a peak at the right time. But this team did not peak at the end of the year. They did not.
You can't score. Even against Miami, you can't score 3 points and feel like, hey, we're playing good ball. Now, if you would have scored 20 against Miami, I would have felt great about that because I wouldn't have expected. I did expect A&M to score more because somebody had scored 26. I thought, well, with that A&M offense, this is the best offense Miami would have played. It never occurred to me that the A&M offense would be completely shut down. And you know what? They really weren't. They moved the football better than people want to give them credit for, but you got to finish.
Yeah, you have to finish. They didn't finish. Here's what I'll feel good about, though. I do like our head man. Okay?
Yeah, I do too. I have a lot of faith in Mike Elko.
Right? And I think he's really good at diagnosing a problem and fixing it. Okay? And there's a lot of problems to fix from an 11-win team that's going to look completely different next year. I believe in him. I'm optimistic about the changes. Go ahead.
One of the reasons to believe in him, he said that we have to look at the way we coach and see if we have to change some things. He was talking about the giving up the big plays.
Yep.
He said we have to look at ourselves. And the previous coach would say, well, the ball was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And but it was here, and he moved his hands like 6 inches. So it wasn't our fault. It wasn't our scheme that was the problem. It was the players.
Yeah.
And it may have been the players too, but Mike Elko at least would say, look, we've as coaches got to look at what we're doing. And that, I think, is a reason to feel somewhat, feel like the future will remain promising and this won't be a one-year wonder.
OB, I know as you get older, time goes by faster.
Heck yeah.
Mike Elko just completed his second season at A&M. It does feel like, not yesterday, not long ago, we were at this desk around this time talking about the hiring of Mike Elko. It has gone by like that. And in that time, he's had A&M in the discussion for the college football playoffs in year 1 and in the playoffs in year 2. Hopefully that trajectory continues. And if you compare him to what other successful coaches, Mario Cristobal, who just came in here and beat us, right? His first few years were not as good as Mike Elko, and now he's, I think, what is it that I saw a stat that he's beaten 10 straight really good opponents, whatever the stat was. Sark had a couple of rough years to start at Texas and has had them in the playoffs 2 straight years. So hopefully this trajectory continues, and there may be a blip in the radar. Next year's schedule looks daunting today. We'll see how it looks in a few months. But hopefully it's the beginning of something, like that's what Jamie Morrison said about volleyball. Hopefully that's what we can say about this football program.
Hopefully. I think next year will be very, very key to get an idea of what this program is going to be on the long term, because you could look at it and say, hey, there's all kinds of reasons to think they slumped back to 8-4 or 7-5 or worse based on who they lost. But look at who they brought in the offseason last year that made this season so good. Let's see if they do it again.
Thank you, Obi. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Merry Christmas.
All right, we'll come back with Joni Taylor right now. If your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with Aggies, check out the Association of Former Students that brings Aggies of all ages together during their marquee events held throughout the year. We're talking about Aggie Ring Day, All Aggie Hullabaloo, the gathering. They welcome tens of thousands of guests, and there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities to get your brand in front of those attendees. And they offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand. And this includes title sponsorship, naming, on-site presence, activation and recognition in social media posts, and much, much more. There's also advertising opportunities in both the Texas Aggie Magazine and the Aggie News newsletter, which are seen by over 230,000 people. So if your business is ready to engage with Aggies, choose a partner that's been with the organization supporting the Aggie Network for over 140 years. For more information on options available through the association, please email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. It is the Association of Former Students. And we are back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Aggie Land Hydration and Injectables. After that football game on Saturday, you probably needed it. You were probably worn out, right? And then maybe on Sunday, when the Aggie volleyball team won the national championship, you got re-energized, but you also got worn out from the roller coaster of emotions. Let Aggie Land Hydration and Injectables take care of you. They're a mobile IV hydration company that's going to give you all the necessary vitamins and minerals to make you feel better. They're proud to serve the Bryan College Station area. They've got IV hydration. They also have Botox, believe it or not, and weight loss options for you. So whether you're looking for a quick boost of hydration or a dehydration preventative, they can tailor that IV cocktail specific to your needs. They want to bring a more personalized and accessible wellness option to the broader range of clientele in the Brazos Valley area. So if you want to book an appointment, what you should do is call them or text them, 979-217-1561. Say hi to Sheldon and Danny. They're great. 979-217-1561. It is Aggie Land Hydration and Injectables. I want to bring up a chat. See if I can find it. It was a very good thought, and it was about Kirby Smart and basically the job that Elko has done so far. So taking a step back, we all feel a little sad about the way the football season ended. I get it. I mean, I'm sad. I was telling Nick before the show, like, man, I don't know. I just don't feel great talking Aggie football right now. How can you, right? But here's DWBTTS. The way you guys come up with your names, sometimes good, I'm sure maybe his name is David Walker. By the way, today say, hey, I don't know. He says, Kirby is literally the only coach in the SEC with a better 2-year record to start the job. Nick, if you could look up what Kirby's first couple years, and by the way, I believe Kirby inherited a program in a much better place. What Mark Richt did there was not good enough. I kind of, for what they wanted, I kind of look at it as like the way we sometimes look at the R.C. Slocum era. And I think at the time I was ready sorry, Coach Slocum, I was wrong. I was ready to see what the next phase would look like in the early 2000s. But all R.C. did was freaking win and win and win, right?
So Kirby in his first 2 years was 21-7.
21-7.
He was 8-5 in his first year, 13-2 in his second year. Won the Rose Bowl. Made it to the national championship game.
Well, and he's a 2-time national champion, right? He is already, I believe, a Hall of Famer, right? Like if he retired tomorrow, would he be in the coaches pantheon of greats? When you win 2, you're there, right?
I think so, yeah. Win 2, he's been there 3 times. He's got all sorts of New Year's 6 bowl wins or the premier bowls, right?
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember what Mark Richt left Georgia with. They won, 9 games. But I think he was fired, right? He was fired that year? I think he was fired. Anyway, they went 9-3 his last year at Georgia. A&M went 7-5. After firing Jimbo early and 5-7 the year before. This is what Mark Richt did, his last few years at Georgia. 10-win season, 9-win season. Sorry, did I got that right? And a 9-win season. And then he goes to Miami and just goes 9 and 10 wins and then finished with 7. It was time for him to move on. But Kirby inherited a program that was in a much better place. Coach Elko inherited a program that was pretenders more than contenders. And had 1 year that was really good, and then the rest, the whatevers. So, yeah, if you want to look at how has Lane Kiffin done? Like, Lane Kiffin's been fantastic. There's no doubt about that. That's why he goes to LSU. But all that dude did was win 9-10 games at Ole Miss, struggled his first year. But beyond that has been phenomenal. So, when you talk about where Coach Elko is, and where this program should be headed. And I'm saying, and again, I feel weird saying it a couple days after losing because nobody wants to hear that, right? Like, we just want to complain. And I'm complaining too, right? Privately and on this show. Like, there's things that I'm like, I would, who else I'm going to complain about, Nick? It's me, right?
Sure.
What did we say? We joked about it behind the scenes last week. Do you remember what we joked about?
Probably, once you bring it up.
Okay.
What?
I talked about Miami being the most penalized team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No.
Before the game.
I thought about that multiple times watching that game. I was like, when are they gonna move? They never moved.
Okay. We talked about Nick and I in the back room last week before the game. I think it might have been the day of the game. I forget when it was. But like the Nuño narratives that when one thing happens, the other thing, like, what's the most famous one? What's his name? Peyton Thorne?
Yeah.
That's the most famous one, right? Like, one thing I say that is a trend with a team, when they play A&M, the other thing happens. And for pretty much most of 2025, that was not the case, right? For the most part. A couple different examples, but Miami, that team gets penalized more than anybody. 136 in the country. A&M, a little bit better, not too much better, but 136 in the country. Both teams got penalized 4 times. Right? And I believe 2 of Miami's penalties, they should have been penalized a couple more times, no doubt. 2 of their penalties were delay of games, right?
Yeah, and those were like, they on purpose.
Yeah. So that team was like flawless against A&M when it came to the penalties. So part of the blame goes to me. And the other part is, a guy who texts the show from time to time, John, I think it's in San Antonio, who typically is a little meaner. He's actually, become a little nicer. He asked the question, why do you think that in virtually every next step game against someone with comparable talent, we get physically manhandled on the line of scrimmage? And he goes on to ask about it. So he says, especially at the home environment. I don't know the answer to that, John. I think it's an interesting question, especially with recency bias, right? Considering Texas and Miami just happened. I don't know the answer to that. I know we have the right strength and conditioning coach. I know we felt great about the line of scrimmage for 90% of the season. And for some reason at the end, again, in the 2 most important games against the 2 biggest opponents, there were 3 big opponents on the year, but the 2 biggest opponents, they failed the test. And I don't know. And I think Coach Elko is going to go back to the lab and try to figure that out. All right. When we come back on TexAgs Live, we are going to run an interview that I had with Ava Underwood and Logan Lednicky. Did it yesterday to prepare for the show. We put it on TexAgs yesterday, but I think you'll enjoy talking about hearing them talk about the national championship run. The automatic question of, has it hit you yet? Yeah, that comes up a little bit, but in a different way. You'll enjoy that conversation. Right now, we're talking Heritage Films. Love my buddy Chance McClain, who runs Heritage Films. It was in Africa for a couple of weeks. Doing somebody's story. He can tell your story. He can talk about your Aggie misery. He can also talk about your Aggie love. He can talk about what it was like, watching the volleyball team win the national championship. Chance is a storyteller. He tells family stories, family business stories, family ranch stories. He's the best at it. He does these 2-hour documentaries, and it is fantastic. I know you're going to really love your time talking to Chance and getting this documentary done. Time is not promised, so if you got somebody in your life that's very special to you, you want their story to be preserved for the next generation and the generation after that, reach out to Chance McClain. 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341. YourHeritageFilm.com is the website. YourHeritageFilm.com. Welcome into the Pass Back, brought to you by TexAgs and United and sponsored by the 12th Man Foundation. Our guests are national champions, Ava Underwood and Logan Lednicky here. What's up, guys?
Well, that has a nice ring to it.
Great national champions.
What?
So, what is this? Can we show the goodies?
We got a little spread here. Got the towel too. Let's see. Here we go. Look at that.
Look at her.
In all her glory.
All her glory.
Yeah.
We had to use Logan's trophy because I lost mine, unfortunately.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. We're having to order a new one.
Make it home with her.
Oh, wow.
That's okay.
All right, so I know the typical questions you'll get at this point. Has it hit you yet?
Yeah.
But when did it hit you during the match? Oh, we're winning this mother.
Oh, I felt really confident in the beginning, but when it really set in was we had 22 points. And I think we all got a little bit giddy.
Yeah.
We all were like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And that's when it really hit me. And it was like, whoa, we're about to do something insane.
Yeah. I think there was like one huddle right around 22 where we were just like, we all brought in so tight. And I think Kendall was just like, guys, like soak this in.
Yeah.
Like soak it all in because we're about to be national champion, which is crazy.
So I'm gonna embarrass myself, and you guys are gonna get mad at me.
Okay.
My kids were asking me,
come on.
Dad, do you think they're gonna win it all? It's like I think they can, but like they gotta beat all these 1 seeds. Like I think they can, but I don't know. And that's what in the back of my mind I kept on thinking that. But you guys were the best, and it wasn't even close. It was not close at all.
Yeah.
I mean, why not us? I think once we played Nebraska and we beat Nebraska, that was like the moment of, oh my gosh, we can really do it. And to go in there and play in that hostile environment and beat a team that hasn't been beat at home in, 3 years?
Yeah.
Like, that was the moment where we were like, oh my gosh, this is really, like, it's here. And it was just 1 point at a time and 1 game at a time, and we just never gave up.
How many times did Jamie cry?
Oh, gosh. After probably every match, maybe. Yesterday, a lot.
I definitely,
Tears of joy
tears
and
of
love,
joy,
right?
for sure.
Right,
All tears of joy.
He cares so much.
He loves you guys so much.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the cool things for my role, and I think all of us at TexAgs, is when he came in here and he sold us on the program. He's like, this is capable. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
This is going to be what Nebraska, and you guys did everything he said he was going to do in 3 years. How incredible is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing just from us being here year one and then going through the coaching change and just seeing this complete transformation of the program and getting to be a part of that has been so, so amazing. And just the staff that he's brought in and like strength. I mean, it goes down to all the little things. Strength coach, dietitian, athletic trainer. Like there's so much more that is behind the scenes that Jamie's helped put together and just also a testament to our hard work in the practice gym every day. But it's been really cool.
It takes an army. Yeah. And like, I remember when Jamie came in and he was, selling us on the program, which didn't take much selling because we wanted to stay. We wanted to be here. And I just said, I was like, I just want to make a difference. I want to make a difference that I can see 5-10 years down the road that this place is a powerhouse. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool because when we won, he's like, you got to see the benefits of all of this. And I'm just really happy for you. So it was awesome.
How many people thanked you, not only for the national championship, but to help what could have been a sour weekend feel a little bit better?
No, literally. I was like, we're here for all the Aggies. We're like saving the city. We're here after the rough Saturday to help save everyone. No, we got a lot of that. It was funny.
It was awesome.
Were you all watching it together?
Yeah, we were all actually on the bus ride home from practice, watching it all on our phones, like screaming as the last 30 seconds were happening. But yeah.
It's, do you think the middle of the season or earlier, not middle, the Metroplex trip, the Dallas trip, sometimes people say a loss is good and you learn from it. For this team in particular, was it actually like now in retrospect?
100%. We said that a lot. Like, I think we needed to get our teeth kicked in a little bit because I think we were riding that high of the beginning of the season, great wins, and then you go and get swept and then a tough loss in 5. Like, I think we learned so much from that weekend. And honestly, like, only went up from there as far as, like, how we were playing and, like, how we were competing as a team and just how we were, like, jiving together. So, yeah, I think we definitely needed that, rough weekend to excel after that.
For sure. I think it was also really nice that we got to play TCU again and get kind of like a revenge match. And then just relying on us and like just being super like composed and just knowing that we're capable of doing this. Yeah. And, getting your teeth kicked in every once in a while, like it sucks, but it's good in the long run.
Well, yeah, I think this was a revenge tour, right? Like everybody. Like,
I think so.
Pop, pop, pop.
No, literally.
Right? Like that there has to be a little bit more. You're gonna enjoy national championship, whoever you play, but knowing that you beat some teams that beat you earlier.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think like we wanted that match back against TCU because we had it there at the end in the 5th set, and so like, but also looking too like that's a tough second round match.
Yes.
So like we knew that there was still work to be done. Like it wasn't going to be easy, and I think just preparing for that in the second round, and then for what was to come after that.
No, you're good. I also think it was just people saw us as the underdog because they always held those 2 losses against us all season, I felt like. And even though, like, in a lot of scenarios, we didn't feel like we were the underdog at all, but it was always like, oh my gosh, what's A&M going to do? Like, and so it was just constantly proving people wrong and that we were meant to be there.
That underdog thing, I think you almost take offense to it, right? Like,
chip on your shoulder. Chip on your shoulder, man.
And if anything, like I feel like we play better with that. So thanks to everyone.
Thank you guys.
Was, like holding that against us, but like, like it's more of I guess a motivation and a fire to kind of prove everyone wrong.
100%.
Felt like a home match.
Oh my goodness!
Like on
12
TV.
man.
Yeah.
Yes. Whoa. We walked out of the tunnel and I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, because I had gotten texts of people coming, but then when we actually saw it. And people were sawing Varsity's horns off and everything was happening. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. It was so loud. We had so many people behind us. It was epic.
It was so cool.
The Louisville match, I remember we did the show the next day and I was like, this feels like a team of destiny. Like, and think about it.
I love that.
You pushed the button after that and it was just beat down after beat down. Like,
yeah.
What was it like? Because what are you thinking when you're down those 2 and like, you know, we've been here before, we can do this, but there's more that goes into that.
Right. Yeah. I think there was almost like a flip or a switch that flipped after that second set. We went into the hallway in the Louisville match and like we were lighting a fire under each other's butts. And we were just like, we are not done yet. Like we were meant to do so much more than to just let Louisville sweep us in this round. And I honestly think like from that moment on, like, there was going to be nothing that got in the way of making it to the Natty. So.
I think that weekend was also just so emotional. Like that weekend was so emotional. You go reverse sweep, you beat Nebraska in 5. And then it was like, all right, if we can get through that gauntlet, we can do anything. And so then once we got to the semis and it was like, all right, like all gas, no brakes. Like, let's go do this thing.
I think when Afena finished it, anybody could have finished it. It would have been storybook ending. But the way it just seemed like a movie, the way it ended, right? Did it seem that way to you?
A cinematic mess.
No, literally. Like, everything was just meant to happen the way it's supposed to. Yeah, no, I agree.
So you're leaving this program better than you found it, right?
I would think so.
Yeah. So what's the future for this program? Now that it's been done, there's proof and concept. Here's what we can do at A&M. Here's what we can do with Jamie Morrison. Here's what we can do with development. Here's what we do with star athletes.
Yeah. I mean, it all starts with the leadership. And I think that program led by Jamie and the other coaches, like, is in a really, really good spot. And I've always said if I could handpick a staff, it'd be that one to go and play for. They love the school. They love being here. They love the 12th man. And, like, we have all the pieces that we need to be very successful. And I think they do a great job capitalizing on that. So I think there's a lot more success to come.
Yeah, I think, Nebraska is considered like a volleyball powerhouse, multinational champion. And I think like that's what we want for this program. Like, yes, okay, we got one, like let's go get 10 more. So hopefully, continuing to just build this program into something really, really great.
Was there a point over the last 3 years where you felt the switch flip, right? Where I'm talking about from not only fan support, but like where you all felt we're appreciating the national championship, and now everybody's on the train, right? Yeah. But was there a point where, like, this kind of feels different now?
I think there's a lot of pivotal wins that we've had over the last couple of years. I think beating Texas at Texas, of course, making it into the tournament the first year that Jamie was here, like that was a lot, and it's just kind of progressively gotten more and more. Like, I'm trying to think of like we've gotten better over time.
First year he was here, made it to the tournament. Second year, Sweet 16. Now, like, national championship, which is crazy. But just, like, that continued progression, I think people have slowly, like, kind of hopped on. And honestly, I feel like after Sweet 16 match last year, Wisconsin, when we took them to 5, I really feel like that was a big, big pivotal moment where we got a lot of eyes on us and people were like, this team and this program is going to be something really, really special.
100%. And it was just that constant climb of like, okay, we've checked that box. Now we're going to go do this. And it was just constant. Yeah. And so I think that's all you could really hope for, and just improvement. So.
What can you both share with me about your future? What can you share? What does it look like the next couple of days?
Next few days, hopefully an announcement coming soon. But I will be playing volleyball somewhere in the spring, so people can look out for that announcement. But I'm very, very excited.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the other hand, I'm retired from volleyball.
Okay.
Done.
Like your MJ shot, you walk off the court.
Yeah, exactly. I'm ending my career as a winner, and I don't think you could want much more. I don't graduate until next December. Okay. I have 18 hours left, but I'm going to draw it out a little bit and enjoy another year in Aggie land and be here and just embrace it all. And so, not really exactly sure what's next, but I'll figure it out. I'm happy to still be here.
Congratulations to both of you. I mean, seriously, like, we needed it, we wanted it, and we believed in it. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
The start of something. All right, there it is. Great interview. If you are not a premium subscriber, you're missing out. You could have gotten that first yesterday on TexAgs.com. All right, we're going to hit a break. And when we come back on TexAgs Live, I will tap dance for about 3 minutes. Right now, we're talking about Rollo Insurance. I understand that Keith came by just a little while ago. Keith is awesome at Rollo. The whole crew there is fantastic. Excuse me. You got Jackson, you've got Morgan, you've got Jason, the entire crew, 25 years of awesomeness in this market. They are my insurance provider. They are the official insurance provider of TexAgs Live, and this studio is named after Rollo Insurance. They're fantastic. They've got 60 offices in the great state of Texas, but their headquarters is right here on Highway 6 in College Station, and it's just a hometown feel when you deal with Rollo Insurance, even though they're big all over the country right now. When you need advice or have a claim, you'll speak directly with someone who knows you by name and your exact situation. That's the Rollo difference. Visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That's rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. 888-44-ROLLO. Call them today.
What's up, everybody? I'm here to tell you about Fratella Italian Cafe. If anyone knows anything about Italian food, it's me, Billy Lucci. And Fratella has the best Italian food in BCS. Located at 3901 South Texas Avenue, Fratella is known for their handmade pasta dishes and feature lasagna, beef cannelloni, chicken parmesan, chicken fettuccine alfredo, a couple of my favorites, just a big old bowl of plain old spaghetti and some manicotti. Really recommend the manicotti. That's my go-to. And don't walk out of there without trying the fresh, piping hot breadsticks and the homemade in-house cheesecake, which is incredible. It's great for dining in, catering, gift cards, and even shipping, which they do nationwide. Fratella's is Aggie-owned and operated, and it's an official restaurant partner of Texas A&M Athletics. I'll see you there.
So excited to do this show with you here on a Tuesday morning. It's TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Rollo Insurance is our studio. The only problem I have is I wish this show was a couple hours longer. By the way, if you live in College Station and you like relaxing, that's part of your game, you need to hear this. The Lazy Boy holiday sale is happening right now. And for a limited time, you can score 2 Lazy Boy recliners for $9.99. That's 2 seats built for real comfort, perfect for movie nights, game days, or just finally unwinding. Choose matching recliners, mix different styles, or grab both for yourself, your comfort, and your call with 50 styles available and plenty in stock for fast delivery. You won't be waiting long to kick back, but hurry when the holiday sale ends. So do the savings. Stop by the Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries near College Station today to shop a recliner that pairs starting at $9.99. Exclusions do apply. See store for details. All right, guys, let's kind of tell you what's ahead. We've got Jordan Pugh, and then we also have Jamie Morrison in studio. He might be bringing a special thing for us to look at. Anyway, today is Festivus. Nick, are you familiar with Festivus?
I'm not.
Festivus is it's a celebration that started on the Seinfeld show, the greatest sitcom of all time.
Okay.
And I feel like since you don't know about it, it's going to be hard to talk about it with you. So I think I'm just going to move on. But, we should do it. We're supposed to air our grievances today. What grievances do you have today?
I wish we would have won college football playoff game.
Yeah. Let's see. I have grievances with that. I also have grievances with... No, I won't go there. You told me not to call out talk show hosts that have no real game. So I just won't. I won't.
To give the pub.
I'm not going to give it to them. I'm not going to talk about people who just say things to be loud for interactions. I mean, honestly, like, for reals, I don't do that. Like, I legit, like, I mean, I'm sure I have hot sports takes from time to time. I'm not saying I don't. I mean, I talk sports and you have opinions. That's like what this industry is built on. But, like, there's stuff I believe. I don't just say things and, like, next week change my opinion.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing, that it constantly shifts.
I don't mind opinions changing based on knowledge. And if you want to say, hey, it turned out that A&M ended up being a fraud because they weren't able to finish it at the end, I'm going to argue with you. I guess it's all in the delivery. And, like, there's 13 data points, right? 13 data points. And when you use Notre Dame, well, Notre Dame wasn't really that good anyway. The whole world was upset that they didn't make the freaking playoffs based on how it all... I mean, I think they all chose wisely. Now, Nick, how would it have gone had it been Notre Dame? I feel like it almost didn't matter had it been Notre Dame or Miami. I'm sorry, I'm answering the question for you before you answered.
Yeah, I agree with you. It just seems like A&M beat themselves offensively, so it wouldn't have mattered.
They were trending in the wrong direction at the end of the year. That's just what it comes down to. All right, we're going to hit a break. When we come back, we're going to keep it real with a guy who's always kept it real, Jordan Pugh, here on TexAgs Live. I was not ready for this song at all. No part of me wanted to hear it, to be honest with you. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. I don't know why. It just kind of caught me off guard. We go to the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. He's not a Grinch. He's usually optimistic. Jordan Pugh joining us. Probably not optimistic today, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Hey, can you see me well? I have to be on my phone today. I think my kids broke my webcam, man.
All good.
So am I good? Okay, yeah. I'm good. Disappointed, a little disappointed, but I'm good.
Well, let's talk about it, man, because, man, like that game that the final two games, I can't separate them. They're connected like conjoined twins, right? I don't know why I said that, but it just doesn't feel right.
What's disappointing, I think, so this is for me, and I think I can speak for a lot of people. What's disappointing is you knew what you had, right? You knew that things were clicking, things were rolling, and then once again, you feel like it's just a continuation of what it was last year, where we had everything to play for, and for whatever reason, we just couldn't take grasp of it, right? We know what happened with the Texas game, but when you look at it from this game, the defense did their job. The offense was moving the ball. We just didn't make the plays when it was necessary. Our playmakers didn't step up. We had moments within the game to take control of it. We lost that. The defense did everything that they could, but they finally broke on that last scoring drive. It's just, that's the part that's disappointing. You had the crowd. I mean, you had Kyle Field, the atmosphere. It was electric, man. You could feel it through the TV. And, I'm at home watching it. I mean, it gave me goosebumps. It had me wanting to run back out out of the tunnel. But when you look at just the totality of the season, when you look at, what is this, 13 total games, and you're talking about two of them, the two that stick out is just what you remember last. But overall, man, I thought it was a good season, but the disappointment of just not being able to take advantage of the moments. We had the moments within the game. We just didn't do it. That's the disappointing part. That's the part where, you're up at night. It's like, what did we do? How did we miss this? Why did we not, take advantage of opportunities? That's the disappointing part.
Yeah, man. So were they the team at the end of the year? Or were they the team at the beginning of the year, or most of the year? And the reason I bring that up is there's a lot of arrows, like, A&M finally, when they played teams, this is who they were. I tend to think they peaked early and they lost something at the end. What do you think?
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, because you saw a team. So when you talk about who they were, that's a team that consistently shows you who they are. But you saw a team that won in multiple facets, so that's different, right? In years past, we've lost in a consistent fashion, or won games in a consistent fashion. When you saw us this year, you saw a team that won close games, a team that won in blowouts, a team that came back, a team that fought through multiple scenarios that you would face, especially in a playoff scenario. I just think in the last two games, what you saw, you really saw a down play in offense. Defensively, there were some moments we couldn't stop the run. We couldn't stop the exterior runs. And that was the thing that came to bite us late in the game against Miami. But offensively, I think it's when you really saw everything start to go downhill, because the playmakers weren't making the plays. I think injuries had a lot to do with that, right? Once again, Le'Veon Moss goes out. But our guys on the outside that had been making plays all year long, especially when it came to the Texas game and this game, you just didn't see them do that. You didn't see them step up. I also thought that Marcel, he looked like he pressed a lot, right? So I know we talked about that after the Texas game. It seemed like he was pressing, trying to make plays. You kind of noticed the same thing a little bit in this game. So I just think that when you look at what the offense did, I think that was kind of our bugaboo going into these last two games, where we just didn't take advantage from that standpoint, because we had been rolling, we had been operating, we had been able to generate points, generate big plays. And that kind of lacked in the last two games. So I just think that, we get caught up in that scenario. But from a totality, from a trajectory standpoint, I think that we're moving in the right direction. But it's hard not to feel disappointed, not to be upset, not to think that, maybe this is who we were. But you can't believe those lies. You have to look at the totality of what we've done. And you got to look at what we can do moving forward, man. And it's exciting to see what we can do.
Jordan, when it comes to Marcel, let's talk about the biggest games he's played in. I would argue the biggest games are his very first start ever at Florida, which was phenomenal, because the season could have gone one of two ways at that point, right? So you got that one, the Texas game to end the year last year, okay?
Yeah.
Both LSU games,
Yep.
The Miami game. And then Notre Dame. I'll give them Notre Dame. Half of them in the early half of the year, fantastic.
Yep.
The ones later in the year, not fantastic. And if you look at the way the season ended last year, and I'm talking about at Kyle Field, rough game against Texas, rough game against Texas this year, rough game against Miami, no touchdowns in your last 2 home games to end seasons. The last game against Texas and the last game against Miami. Not 1 touchdown at Kyle Field. What's happening with Marcel or the offense in these pressure cooker games? And again, I'm giving him credit for the other ones, but at the end of the year, pressure cookers.
I think if you look at the common denominator, it'd be the run game, the lack of run game. If you also look at the common denominator, it's when Le'Veon Moss left. All right, so we go back to South Carolina last year. We go back to what game did he get hurt this year? Was it Florida?
Florida game. Florida.
Okay, yeah. So when you look at Le'Veon leaving, you look at the production that fell off. The consistency in the production fell off. Right now, we fast forward to the Texas game. It didn't really spear its head until we played Texas, and I think the lack of the run game forced him to be perfect in the pass game. So what I mean by him pressing, when you go to the Texas game, you saw him press a little bit more than normal because there was a lack of a run game, right? A consistent run game, a consistent run threat from that standpoint. And so we had to make more plays, and it didn't open up the offense as much as we wanted it to, right? So you go to this game, it's kind of the same thing. I think we had maybe, 50 yards combined out of the backs, I think, something of that nature, something close. And so now you're becoming one-dimensional, right? You heard Elko say it at the post game, is they control the line of scrimmage. By controlling the line of scrimmage, I can now dictate what you do offensively, and so that forces us to press as an offense, especially in the pass game. I think just in the last 2 games that we played, the lack of the run game is what really hurt us because it didn't allow us to open up the offense. It didn't allow Klein to get a flow and a rhythm going. But at the end of the day, too, as well, our guys on the outside just weren't consistent enough in making the plays. And so we had to be able to step up in that end as well. And we had the people to do that because we saw previously 11 total games where they were doing that, right? So I just think that when you look at one thing that you can pinpoint, yes, Marcel has to play better. Marcel has to be a leader. He has to step up. He has to put the game on his shoulders. But also at the same time, if you correlate that with the run game, it doesn't allow you to open up the offense, and it doesn't allow a rhythm to be created because now you make yourself one-dimensional. So I think that was the pinpoint in these last 2 games.
All right. So what happened to the line of scrimmage? And we'll start off with the offensive line because Miami won that battle. And they won that battle multiple ways. Not only 7 sacks, 6 in the second half, but as you mentioned, couldn't run the ball. And that's not all on the backs. Part of that is opening up holes.
Yeah, I just think it boils down to they just whooped us. That's just what it boils down to. Look, there's not a lot of science involved in this, man. It was man versus man, and they just handled the point of attack better than we did, especially within the interior between our center and guard play. I just think that they handled the line of scrimmage. They beat us man to man, and that's just what it was, right? If you flip it to the defensive side of the ball, we didn't get the pressures that we normally get as well when you're talking about the defensive side, right? Cassius Howe didn't really make his presence felt with Texas and against Miami and our interior guys as well. I just think, man, we lost that line of scrimmage battle, which in turn made us lose the run battle, which in turn made us one-dimensional in our pass game and allowed those pass rushers to get off. But overall, we were still in the game. It's just opportunities. And when opportunities there, you got to take them. So you look at that last drive, we drive basically 99 yards essentially on that last drive, have an opportunity to go up and still don't take advantage of it. So those are the things in those tight window games where you have moments that can turn and shift the game. In these last 2 games, man, we didn't take advantage of those.
You're a coach. Do you care? And I'm sure you care at some point, but it's football and there's talking that happens, right? Do you care that there were some comments made by A&M about Miami? And even though I don't think they were egregious in what they were trying to say, Bain had 4.5 sacks coming into the season. He had 3 in that game, right? And he was the center of some of that controversy. Do you have a problem with that at all?
No. Look, man, bulletin board material is the most fugazi thing on the planet. At the end of the day, man, we're going to line up. We're going to play each other. I can say whatever I want to say, but my talent is my talent. So you're looking at Bain and what he did production-wise in the season versus what he did on Saturday. Well, you also have to look at the situation. How many times did we drop back and pass? How many opportunities did he have in order to get those sacks? When you look at that and you compare that to us, Miami really hunkered down on the run game because we couldn't stop that. Remember when we first got into the season at the beginning of the year, we already played Notre Dame. I said, the number one thing we have to do is we have to earn the right to rush the passer, right? So in those games where Cassius Howell went off, we earned the right to rush the passer, allowing the offense to get into predictable situations, and our pass rush can go to work. It's the same thing that happened with Miami. We couldn't establish the run, so they earned the right to rush the passer, and they took advantage of that. And so that's hard when you're asking an offensive line to consistently pass block, especially when you have no counter in the run game. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. And if you don't understand what you're looking at, if you're looking just at a box score, you would just see, well, they whooped us and they did that. No, you got to understand the context and the flow of the game and how play calling is all absorbed within that. So look, man, all that bulletin board stuff, I've been in a lot of games where there's been a lot of talking. All that stuff goes away after the first hit. You got to go and you got to play games because that motivation died. But we just didn't hold up our end of the bargain in that particular situation within the game.
Jordan, help me understand this, because to me, the defense did not lose the game big picture. But if you kind of take a microscope to it, right? You only gave up 10 points. You got to win that game, right? Like that, you got to score more than 10. But I believe part of the problem was all game long, yes, Miami didn't move the ball that effectively against A&M, but they kept on chipping away with those yards, right? And every once in a while, they would get that big run. And then at the end of the game, the defense is exhausted. And I don't know if that's the reason for the big misfit or whatever happened on that 56-yard run from Fletcher. But, like, the defense played well enough to win. But the defense was a huge problem in that game still.
The defense was a problem in the later part of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. That's where the defense was a problem at. All right. So if you say that we only gave up 10 points, if you say that Carson Beck only threw for 103 yards, I tell you we win this game handily, right? But when you look at it, 56 of the yards came in the fourth quarter off one run. I think there was, I want to say it was like a 30-yard run maybe, something like that. I want to say it was third quarter. So if you're looking at two runs in the totality of it, that's really what the defense gave up. They gave up two runs, but it was two runs in two critical moments that hurt us, right? I thought the defense played well. I thought the defense did what they were supposed to do. When you're playing a team that's evenly matched, like we talked about before the game, man, there's going to be moments where they make plays. So there was 3 total plays made in this game. Well, 4 if you count the interception. But you had the punt return from Malachi Toney, and you had the 2 big runs. Outside of that, the defense did their job. But you have to be able to counter that, one, either through special teams or one through offense. And still, at the end of the day, the name of the game is who can score more points than the other team. That's the name of the game. And we only gave up 1 touchdown the entire game. So that's the facts of it, right? The fact that we just couldn't manufacture points, we couldn't take advantage of situations, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense because we know that we can't have any breaks, any lapses, anything. Plus, we're on the field longer, right? That stuff is tiring. I've been in those situations before. It's not an excuse. You still got to make plays, but that is the reality of the situation. From the totality, you can't get caught up in the fact that the defense lost us the game because they didn't. But there were moments and plays that eventually, if you want to say lack of a better term, broke the dam on us, and we just couldn't recover from a totality standpoint for the team. That's the biggest thing.
So even though the 2 biggest games of the year were losses, do you look at this season as a successful season?
We have the most, I was thinking about this the other day, we have the most successful, what's the best way to put it? The most successful non-successful season I think you can have in college football history. You have an 11-2 team that didn't play for a conference championship, that has no type of trophies per se, accolades, this, that, and the other. I think it's amazing that you can go 11-1 and miss the conference title, do all that. But when you look at the totality of the season, it's a huge success, right? You're talking about 2 losses. They just happen to come at the end of the year. You're talking about a team that went on an 11-game win streak. You're talking about a team who built from year 1 to year 2. This is the second year that Mike Elko has been at the helm. And look at the trajectory of the program. You can almost compare it a little bit to Indiana, the same kind of thing. Him and Signetti get in at the same time. You look at the trajectory of year 1 for Indiana. You look at where they are year 2. We're kind of in the same boat. We weren't in the playoffs year 1, but we had the opportunity to get there. You look at what we did this year. We made it to the playoffs this year, but we just didn't take advantage. Now the question is how do we build upon that? What is the things that we have to put in place? What are the changes that we have to make in the offseason in order to take full advantage? If you tell me that we go 8-5 to 11-2 from year 1 to year 2, I take that all day long. The thing now is, what is it going to take in order for us to break that last wall down and get over the top, get over the hump, win a conference, but also win playoff games and play for the national championship? That's the challenge at hand now. What pieces do we have in place? What changes do we need to make? And how can we get that mentality into this team in order to take advantage of that next year?
Talking to Jordan Pugh here on TexAgs Live. All right, Jordan. So building blocks are there. This team is going to look very different next year. A lot of dudes probably going to the NFL. A lot of dudes running out of eligibility. Offensive line will look different. Defensive line will look different. You got a new defensive line coach. You've got a linebackers coach coming in. And you've got a schedule next year that doesn't today look very kind. Got to go on the road to Oklahoma, to Tuscaloosa, to Baton Rouge, to Missouri. Today. So how optimistic can a program be about year 3 based on what I just laid out for you?
Very optimistic, because college football is going to change drastically between now and August, right? But the one thing that I do know is now you have the luxury of having 2 years of body of work with Mike Elko. And so now my ability to trust in what he's building is at an even higher level than it is now. Okay. So the question is the nucleus of the team. What do you have? You got your quarterback back. You have some key nucleus guys on defense that'll be back. But at the end of the day, you have Elko, who is constructing this thing, a guy who has built this culture, a guy that has put a mindset into this program. Now just the work begins. How do you formulate the team? How do you connect the dots? And I think that he's done a masterful job of doing that in his first 2 years. But the biggest thing now is, like I've always said before, it's never been a talent issue with us. It's never been a player issue. It's never been a talent acquisition issue with us. How can we get these guys to understand that championships are available to us? How do we get them to take control of that? And that's a mentality shift. And I think once we can do that, once we can lock in and we can get the focus part down, especially towards the end of the year, because you saw that trend in both years, I think that's where you'll see the difference with us. So I'm excited, and I'm very, very high on what we can do next year because Mike Elko is at the helm. That's the difference. I think things are going to change constantly, but you have the head guy who's been steady, who has shown you progression each and every year.
Jordan, did we overperform or underperform?
We did what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to win games. We were supposed to go undefeated. That is look, one of the biggest things that drives me crazy is the battered Aggie syndrome. The people who use the word fear, who use the word downfall, who use all of that. It's time that, man, look, you got to stand on something. And if you believe this team is capable of winning championships, and you need to act like that and act accordingly. And I think this year what you saw is you saw what you can be. You saw what this team is fully capable of. Now it's just the last 2 moments that you saw. We're a prisoner of the moment. You saw us fall short on the biggest stages. And sometimes that is the hardest thing to do, is break through on those last few moments. And we've been closer than ever. So for everybody who wonders, man, was it success? Did we falter back to who we were? Were we frauds all year? I would say you don't understand what a championship mentality is. And you're seeing that shift each and every year, the 2 years now, but each and every year that Elko's been there, you've seen that shift in this team, right? And so you've seen that trajectory just go up. So now, based off past history, I have nothing. I'm nothing but excited moving forward with what we have, because I've seen us do it 2 years now in the hardest conference, and you've seen us take control of our destiny. Now we just got to finish. The hardest part is getting these guys to finish. And as a coach, I can tell you that when you're standing on that sideline, you put those game plans together, and it's in those kids' hands, and they got to make those plays. The one thing that you hope that you did was you hope that they understand, and you can instill the finish in them. That is the last part that we're lacking. And the hardest thing to do is break through on that championship side. But once you do, once you finally get a taste of that, everything is downhill from that standpoint. So, man, I'm excited. I think we have all the pieces that we need.
Jordan, last thing for you. Did you pay attention to volleyball?
Yes, I did. You know, my wife's a volleyball coach.
That's what I thought.
This is in the fair. I was sitting there watching the national championship Of course I was. You know, my mom was a little bit upset. My mom's from Kentucky, so she went to UK. Yeah, so we got to watch a little bit of that. But see, man, the championship DNA is in us, man. You know, now is the time to translate to the football side. But oh yeah, I was definitely watching. Me, the wife, and the girls were watching that.
Man, that run that they went on, Jordan. We're about to have Jamie Morrison in the studio talk about it. Like I look at it as like all the one seeds that they annihilated, man. Like that was just it's going to be something. Yeah. Even if you're not a volleyball fan, that I think you're going to hold on to for a long time.
Oh yeah. Look, championships are a beautiful thing, but like I just said, you saw a team that tasted it now. Look, man, I'm excited about the trajectory of just A&M in general. You've seen us knocking on the door across all sports, right? The volleyball finally turned it over. But, man, on the football side, we're right there. We're there. We're right there. One of the things that I give my players is this. I said, man, one of the hardest things to do is climb the mountain. Because as you climb that mountain, the air gets thinner and thinner at the top, right? It's those guys who are willing to fight through and push through that, man, and so you can accomplish what it's like to breathe that thin air. We're right there. We're right there at the peak. But now it's just changing the mentality, and we'll be fine moving forward.
Merry Christmas, man. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Yes, sir. Same to you.
See ya. Jordan Pugh there on the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back, open segment, and then Jamie Morrison in studio. If you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what sets them apart is the over 9 CFPs, the CFA, and the CPA all on staff. And they take their credentials seriously there at Paragon Financial. And they want to work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel really good about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call at 979-693-3907 to schedule a free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Text the show if you're still watching. I'm just curious or listening. Like, who's still watching and listening to TexAgs Live right now? 10:26 in the morning. Well, actually, you know what? I bet we're going to get a big
I was about to say, everybody tuned out. They know they got to tune back in here in about 5 minutes. So
what was this question you asked me if I would want to go to space?
yeah, I'm just trying to pass the time
up?
back here. I'm just trying to pass the time back here because we're last show before Christmas. We're trying to get through it.
Senioritis?
And sure, yeah, you could call it that. And I asked Kaylee, my assistant director today, I just said, hey, just one of the questions that I've asked, would you go to space if you could or if NASA came to you and was like, you're gonna make it, guaranteed safety, you're gonna return to Earth, would you go? I would say no, because that's like the craziest thing you could possibly do as a human being is leave Earth, right?
Well, there's layers to this, right? Like,
sure.
Is Earth going to blow up? Then yeah, I'm leaving.
No. It's just
just for a vacation?
Sure, like you're going to the International
world.
Space Station.
I probably not. I hate roller coasters. I can Google what it looks like. It's the same effect, right? Like, hey,
but does it really look like that?
I don't know.
Is the Earth round?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm not a flat earther. That was a joke.
But I don't think I would do it today. No, I don't think I would do it today. Like, there's not enough, like, we call it proof of concept. Like, hey, we've delivered, What
about Elon's spaceships, SpaceX?
It depends on how comfortable the ride is.
It's like a Tesla.
Yeah, if it's comfortable and, like, there's, like, first class and, like I don't want to float. Who likes to float, right?
Like zero gravity?
I don't want to do that for a long time. Maybe, like,
kind of looks cool.
I mean, what if I get sick and throw up? Like, no, I'm good.
That would definitely happen to me.
I'm going to read this college football nerds tweet. And I think this account or this dude is typically anti-A&M. This one, I didn't read it that way. Maybe he's not anti-A&M. I don't want to say. I feel like I've read him like coming after us before, but it says ESPN's headline for A&M versus Miami. Miami's defense dominates Texas A&M for their first CFP win. Now, before I continue reading the tweet, would you agree with that?
Would I agree?
That Miami's defense dominates A&M for the first win?
No.
I agree.
I wouldn't.
He then says, or she, college football nerd person, says, this seems a bit wrong when A&M outgained Miami 326 to 278 and Beck threw for just 103 yards. The real story was A&M getting exposed in run defense, which I don't think they were exposed. This is who they were most of the year.
Definitely.
Giving up 175 yards and 6.3 yards. I would say that is all true. The reason Miami, Marcel was off, and the offense and the defensive line did dominate. Miami's defensive line dominated our offensive line. And, I hear clapping in the lobby. So, yeah. Why don't we do this? Why don't we hit a break and actually talk about championships? Lazy Boy, the holiday sale is officially on, and it's your time to upgrade your comfort, whether you're hosting game day watch parties, crashing after a long week, or just tired of that old, ugly couch. Lazy Boy's got you covered. For a limited time, get 2 Lazy Boy recliners for just $9.99. Mix and match your favorites, or claim both for yourself and your comfort your way. 50 styles available and many in stock for fast delivery. Relaxing doesn't have to wait. But don't wait too long. When the holiday sale ends, so do the savings. Visit Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries near College Station today and shop recliners and getting at $9.99. The exclusions do apply. See store for details. It's Lazy Boy and the recliner sale for $9.99. Can we clap it up? It's just me in studio, but Jamie Morrison, national championship head coach. Thank you for joining us here in studio.
My pleasure. Happy to come in here and celebrate with you.
Bringing do I call it a trophy? Is that what I?
Yeah, I think it's a trophy.
Trophy.
Yeah.
It's
a symbol of hard work, is what it is.
It is a symbol of very hard work in I don't want to say a short amount of time, but probably faster than we all expected.
It's faster, yeah. I would probably say that. I don't know, 3 years in, if anybody in the planet, I'd probably say like I had a 5-year plan for this.
Yeah.
But I told our staff, and we held it up before the match. We talked about a year and a half ago, and there was some other stuff happening in other sports where people were running a little bit faster. And our sport's hard to do this, change a program, change a culture, this amount of time to be able to get to the point where you can go out and do this. But I said, why not? And again, our whole motto became, why not us? But like a year and a half ago, I was like, hey, like if we really, put the pedal to the metal right now, we're at a tipping point where we can turn the program and do this, plus do this for years to come. And I just said, hey, regardless of what happens, I'm proud of what we've done. And then we went out and obviously accomplished this thing. So amazing accomplishment. Again, testament to the hard work that's been put in by a lot of people.
So I have to apologize to you.
I'm curious what's coming.
So my kids, everybody in College Station, Aggies everywhere, were just enthralled and just watched every second. It was exactly what you had hoped. That all came true, right? My kids were like, Dad, do you think they're going to win? I was like, I know they can, but like that's a hard road. All these 1 seeds, like, and if anybody can do it, it's Jamie. But it was like I was this wishy-washy answer.
Yeah, you didn't want to raise their hopes too much.
Right?
I get it.
And I was like, I think they can, but I don't know, dude. It wasn't even close. No. You guys dominated.
I mean, we went 5 with Nebraska, 5 with Louisville. We were down 0-2. Like, don't make it seem like it was just a walk in the park.
But once I feel like once it clicked, and I don't know if "click's" the right word, but in the Final Four, to me, that wasn't close. You looked like the elite team, and those were very good teams that you took care of business.
Yeah, no, and you've heard me come on the air here a lot. Like, and again, limit alignment is on the door-to-door practice gym. But we talked a lot throughout this tournament of playing with some joy, of enjoying the process, that we've earned the right to go do that, hey, this is about expressing who you are, not trying to be something that you're not. And it was a really interesting, and again, you make your own fate. I'm not a fate guy, but there were a lot of different things that kind of happened throughout this tournament that just helped us prepare for the next thing. So the TCU staff, for example, they came up and said congrats on being in the Final Four and we're at the All-American banquet, and I just said thank you for pushing us in that match. And there was some stuff they were doing tactically that set us up to go play Louisville, and then some stuff that Louisville was doing that set us up to go play Nebraska, and then some stuff in Nebraska. And it was just, and we talked the whole time. Like, and again, I'll give myself some props of, I really front-loaded the tournament with like, this is going to be about how you handle hard. And every team, and we just literally talked about it in that last, match. And Brooklyn DeLay, one of their outside hitters, I didn't realize it all season, but she was playing on a torn meniscus. And it became apparent. I had just told our team, I'm like, hey, like everyone has their hard. Like you can either dwell on it or you can deal with it. And I thought throughout the entire tournament, we earned the right to be handling hard for longer. We talk a lot about time under tension, and we talked about Campbell pushed us for 10 points, and then TCU pushed us for 20. And then we played Louisville, and all of a sudden, we were actually handling them, and then they won on this run, but we had to handle hard for 3 sets in a row. And then that Nebraska match, man, like I probably could have slept for 3 days after that thing, but like that was hard. Like every single minute of it. At not one point did we give up. Not one point did we lose our identity in past the first 13. Again, I took a time out there. We lost track of it a little bit. And then I thought that stayed true for the rest of the tournament. And I thought maybe the first 10 points of Kentucky, that moment got to us, and that moment made us sway a little bit away from who we were. But once we clicked, and I'm like, this is over. And once it started to click in for us, and we were playing with joy again and looking across the net, there was a little bit of doubt. Like we really kind of dug in and broke, and I thought that was huge. And that's a really, really good volleyball team that we beat in the final. I got a lot of respect for what Craig has built. I studied it when I got here. If it took him 8, I was like, all right, how do we do this in terms of roster, in terms of getting the people here that are going to make a difference? And I think we did a good job of that. But that's a good volleyball team that we beat in the final. But I'm proud of our girls for how we stayed true to who we are.
So I'm watching the entire tournament with this smile on my face, because all the things you said the very first time you came in this studio came to fruition. And you talked about, it was a sleeping giant. You didn't phrase it that way. And you wanted this place to be like a Nebraska. It felt like on TV a home match. How loud that place was, right?
It was.
I know Kentucky had their fans there, but it was just like it was different.
And again, our fans are different. The 12th man is different.
Yeah.
And I said it, and like to anybody that was there that traveled, and if you were at home screaming, we probably heard you too. But anybody that traveled all the way up there, I can tell you when all of a sudden beforehand they're like, "Who's here to cheer on Kentucky?" And there was decent applause. And "Who's here to cheer on A&M?" The whole place went crazy. Like I went in when the 1 minute mark before the match started, and I said, "Hey, the 12 men traveled. Like we put on a show." It was a huge piece of it to be able to feel like, again, the greatest fan base in the world is there traveling to support us in that moment and to be a part of it. Like I felt pressure all of a sudden. Like all of these people came this way. Like I want to win this for them. So it spurred us on. And again, throughout the entire match, we felt it. We felt the energy throughout the place. And we talked leading into this that it might be kind of a like neutral, like bland environment where there's 18,000 people, but people were kind of just there to watch volleyball. And in that final, man, people traveled and it felt 100% like we were playing at home at 12 man.
Somebody knocked on the door during the game. Ridiculous. I don't know if it's UPS or Amazon or whatever. Then I walked over there and I heard the applause, and I knew from the applause when it was something good for us as opposed to.
Isn't that cool?
Like I knew, I was like, oh, we got another point. Like I just knew.
No, and it's huge for, and again, I came here because I wanted to grow our sport also, like, and it's huge for our sport. And I was talking to the president of our coaches association, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, man, like, and like, I want you to be involved in more things because like the 12th man will travel now. And that's a huge piece of this, of can you go somewhere and all of a sudden feel like we have a home environment, one, for us, but two, to help grow this game to be what I think it can be, one of the marquee sports in the country. So just for all sorts of reasons. But again, I don't know if we're sitting here without the 12th man showing up at that match.
How about the national commercial it was for Texas A&M as a university, though, right? Like in your entire run, which I think I told you right after the Louisville game, people are tweeting about you that would normally not. It was a commercial for a university in your program in particular for a couple of weeks, for 10 days.
No, and I think, again, like we can go into what's going to benefit the program. I think the thing that I loved the most is people fell in love with our team and our girls. And again, we talk a lot in our program about being authentically yourself and like what is going to make us us. Like there's certain things that as a coach I have to have that like every, iteration of this team is going to act in some ways. But every year's team is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be made up of different individuals. And I think the fact that that's shown, like it came through on TV, that came through in interviews, that's the thing I'm most proud of. Like I'm sitting here listening to like the people that are next to me, our players doing interviews after this and thinking back to when I first got here 3 years ago and how much more confident they are in who they are and that they're able to express that. And also, again, express the values that make us, like the things that I've said are going to be a part of our team, to be able to make that their own and say it in their own way. Like those are the things I'm most proud of. And again, like this is a testament to all of that. It's a byproduct of the fact that, we worked hard. We were really good at our craft. That became a piece of us. And in the biggest moments, we could let it out. It's the fact that we really did some work in who people are as individuals and who they are as competitors. We did some work in how to stay true to those things. But like that authenticity piece, if I were to give one message to any young athlete that's listening, or like, hey, if you're, having conversations as a parent to a youth, it's not about trying to make them into something that they're not. It's trying to figure out who they are, what makes them tick, and amplify that as much as possible, and they make it fit into a whole. And again, the fact that the whole country fell in love with, again, who we are, and then individually our athletes, like I'm so fired up on that.
So as a coach, you'll see it one way. Analyst fan, I thought it was over earlier than you probably did when you all came back and won the first set, because I saw their body language change and yours as well. You had to keep coaching. That's an amazing team. I recognize that. But to me, it just felt like it was destiny. It was time. It was going to be A&M's story. When did you realize we're winning this thing?
Winning it, when I felt confident of it, to what you said, I felt confident 5 points into the second set. I'll even rewind. I felt confident once we got it within 2 in that first set. I didn't think it would be easy. So I didn't think it would be 25-15, 25-21, or whatever it was in the next 2 sets, because that team fights. And if you were to be like, hey, what 2 teams made it to the end of it? Like, it's the 2 teams that wouldn't back down.
Right.
If you look at their semifinal, they got beat up in the first set, and all of a sudden came back roaring in the second, went down in the third, but then pushed to 5th, and then dominated. So again, I have a lot of respect for what Craig instills in his team. So like we kept talking about that, and like the worst thing in volleyball sometimes is when you take the 5-minute break when both teams go out, and it's like, ooh, which version of this is going to show up? But I thought once we started to come back and like again like play in alignment with who we were and like who individuals were, and that's coaching, and that's a little bit of our athletes having some skills to kind of bring it back in. And I think being good teammates, like there was some teammateship there too, of like people were grabbing onto a hand for a little bit longer, being like, we got this, until people, came into who they are. But once that started to click and we got within 2 and like we started to fire on all cylinders, I knew it was we were in a good spot. I'll say that.
How about your teammates? Like I'm seeing Garrett Chadwell, Trisha Ford, Mrs. Elko. I'm sure you heard from every coach. Like
it's cool.
You told me in the beginning, like this feels like a different kind of athletic program. Like the synergy. They were all they were there for you, for your program.
It's awesome on so many levels. One, to have people pick up and leave and travel to come, like it's huge. Like we don't have a lot of time as head coaches. Like I can tell you, like I'm sitting here and on the right over here, I'm like, when am I going to be able to take a break? For someone to be able to give up their time to come is huge. And then just again, I can say this place is special, as in Texas A&M is special, and it is. Like it's unique, it's interwoven, people are together, but I can tell you that the staff is that way too. And I'll say this, I think it's part of, I don't know, the hiring process now. Like if you go like, I don't know, when I'm bringing in staff or when I'm bringing in players, again, going back to there's things that make us, I'm asking questions that kind of get to that core of it. Like, are you going to care about the people around you? Whenever I'm getting on the phone with a recruit, it's like, are you going to care about me? Is one of the things I want to know. Mm-hmm. But I think that's happening with the coaches that we're hiring. I think it's part of that process. And now that it's become a part of the culture, it's like, you have to care about each other.
Right.
It's part of what we do now. And I think that's an amazing thing. And again, like it's all of us. And I'll give Mike full credit. Like on this one too, like he kind of is the captain of our coaches, and how he acts, we're going to act in some ways. And he's been amazing in that. Again, I don't know, they then lost a tough football game. And again, stick with him. Like, again, I know coaching, I know when things are going to go well, like the values that he's instilling, like this program is going to be a powerhouse for a lot of years to come. And I was saying this in press conferences, like there's other places that are going to be really good at volleyball, maybe still places that are going to be, like, I don't think there's a lot of places that are going to be really good at both and really good at all sports, but our coaches are they're like this right now. And it's awesome. Also, I'll say this, like the seat that we sit in as a head coach is sometimes lonely, and it's nice to have people that sit in it, even though it's in another sport, to be able to call up and be like, hey, how did you handle this situation? And I think we all have that right now. We're supportive of one another. And again, like it means the world. Again, he texted me on Saturday, I think, saying, hey, go kick some butt. And that's not an easy thing to do in that moment. So, but again, to all of the coaches that are here, like we have something special, and it's something we need to protect.
So you mentioned not having any time to like unwind. So what's your schedule like right now? Because the portal's open, you got to figure out your roster. There's hopefully a celebration coming soon. Like, so what's going on?
Yeah, the hard piece is just you go this late. It's so close to Christmas. Like I literally 2:00 in the morning we got back, and again the amount of people that showed up sitting outside to welcome us home was absolutely amazing at 1:30. And you had to have a talk with your team, and we have people that are going to go off and play professionally. And like the highlight of my night on Sunday was actually, we get done and we have 5 players that want to play professionally, and 2 of them got a phone call that they're going to get a job. And like that was probably the most emotional I got all night, just because this is about bringing people into this program and getting them to where they want to be as a human being and a volleyball player. Or again, in life, we have some people that are going to go on into professions, and I want to help there too. And there's a 5th one of those that it's going to be my project today. So what's now? It's balance my family. They're in here with me right now because I haven't seen them a lot. Make sure we celebrate Christmas a little bit, take care of the people that are here. Obviously the transfer portal is open, that's a piece of it. But really I want our team to take some time, hopefully, to enjoy this, because we got done and we had a talk there, but everyone went home for Christmas, and we have people going to play pro. And I'm hoping we can try to get all 17 back at some point to celebrate this and be celebrated. The school, when people here want to celebrate them. Right. But I don't even know if that's possible, and that's the hard piece of it. But again, I'm going to go back to it. Like, I was sitting down with Emily last night because she's heading home, and just the fact that we gave each other a long hug, and that she's going to be a piece of my life. And we were talking about she's going to come back here and probably get emotional that Andy's 3 years older, and that's what it's about. Like, again, when I say this is a byproduct, I can't wrap up my success in this thing, because these things are really hard to win. And this is for, I think, all sports and all fans. Like, these are hard to win. And this can't be the expectation every single year. And I know it's what everybody wants. But again, I've tried to come on this show and be vulnerable and talk about the stuff that's underneath the tip of the iceberg. Like all of the care and love that goes into our athletes, getting them a degree, all of these things. Like, this is a byproduct of it'll happen every once in a while if we're doing it right. And again, we're going to continue to do it right. We're going to continue to push. We're going to continue to try to win these. But our athletes caring about us and us caring about them is probably the most valuable thing I can have.
To follow that up, then, enjoy this, but I think you also enjoy the process after this, right? Like mixing the ingredients, getting the right ingredients, and then wherever that road goes, you would find success, even if it ends in a Sweet 16 loss, of developing a culture and a team.
No, and I'm going to go back to this. Like, I had a talk at dinner when we were sitting out. We go out to a team dinner whenever we can and not like get food in, but actually go out and sit down and put down our phones and have a talk with somebody across the table. And I just stopped dinner and I just said, hey, I just want to say this. Like this was the most fun I've probably ever had coaching. Mm-hmm. And I just said, I'm really thankful that we've earned the right that I get to do it for another 3 days. We get 2 more practices and we get to step into the arena one last time and play the last match of the season. And I said, regardless of win or lose, I'm happy that we just made the most out of the time that we had. But yeah, going forward, like this group got to be so good at volleyball. Obviously, we won a national championship, and it was small little tweaks here. But I'm about development, and I love the spring. Like I love it because you get to shatter skills, you get to shatter culture, and you get to put it all back together when it comes to the fall. And I'm looking forward to doing that. And it'll be a different group. And again, like I've said this the entire time, we have people waiting in the wings that are really, really good at volleyball. We'll add some pieces probably here and there. We have a great recruiting class that's coming in. And again, this is the art of coaching. It's like you get all these new pieces and it's like, all right, how do I fit this together? And systems, like it might look a little bit different next year based on the personnel we have. And culture, again, there's going to be things that make us us, but the feel of this team, the emotions of this team will be a little bit different. And that excites me.
Yeah, and I think, I guess, your summer camp might fill up really fast this year.
They already do. Jen kills it there. That's not a win or loss thing. That's that we put together a good product and educate in a cool way. So, but yeah, no, and hope to have your daughter back out.
Yeah, you got it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Jamie.
Pleasure.
As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's coming up here in a couple seconds. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150 will hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. Get that man a raise. Get that man an extension. Yeah, Nick Savage too. But Jamie Morrison, for sure.
Absolutely.
That dude. Every time he comes in here, I just feel he
speaks your language.
He does. He does. And Richard and I were joking yesterday. In the press conference, I didn't even bring this up. In the press conference, you know who he brought up, right?
Jocko?
Yeah, no, he brought up Goggins.
Oh, nice.
I love that about Jamie. We like the same kind of people. And I'm glad he brought up, like, the end result isn't what we always celebrate, right? Like, obviously, that's the pinnacle of success, what they just did. But there are a lot of other, like, there are some stories in there, like the process to get to where they got, to me, is the most unbelievable thing. And as he said, keep believing in football. He believes in Elko. We'll continue to do that. Well, that does it for a show. Gosh, I wanted to do a whole
Kneel it out,
hour.
David. Kneel it out.
No. Let's do a quick interview. Nick, favorite, you don't read, you don't watch movies. Favorite gift ever as a kid? Go.
I don't know.
God, you suck.
Yeah, I do. Sorry. You surprised me.
Yeah, should have kept Jamie
on
longer.
The gift of family and friends.
Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you. I'll see you next year, but somebody will see you soon.